It's about time, baby.
The champ is
Welcome to
here.
State Champions
The
Podcast.
champ.
Obviously, you can see we not in the basement, but for this event, we had to come outside. We're downtown Detroit, Martin Luther King Senior High School, for the Toast to the Champions, the 1987, 1988, 1989 Boys Class A State Championship. G, how you doing, boy?
Man, cut it out, man. Coach in the building. We down here at 3200 East Lafayette. Feel like we on Hubble and Finkel, though, man. It's all good.
It's all good. So if it's your first time tuning in to State Champions Podcast, you are in for a real treat. We've had a lot of people on the show, G, but I think you already started with it.
That's it.
Said that it's Coach Kelso,
Go.
the man, the legend, the myth.
No question.
Sometimes misunderstood, but he was definitely that guy that championed a championship team for 3 straight years.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell everybody that's tuning in, make sure you call a friend. Tune in on social media, IG. We got Facebook, YouTube. Make sure y'all call in 313-458-4445. On State Champions Podcast, we discuss people, politics, community, and culture, and what would a podcast be with 2 great friends, a former coach, a current coach, former high school teammates, be what us discuss in sports. I'm your co-captain, Raphael Peterson. To my left and to your right is my man, George T. Ward Jr. How you doing?
Man, come on, man. Look at that. We got Earl the Pearl in here. Officer Everett. Hop. It's about to go down, man. I think this is what needs to happen. It's the proper time, the proper year.
Yeah.
We got a man here in the building, man. It's going to be nuts.
It's going to be nuts. But before we do that, I think everybody still want to hear those. Like, you got to still do Coach's Corner. We still going to have to do Parlay Pete's Picks of the Week because I got a
Did you win
special.
the people some money last week? Because
You know what?
you told the people. I'm just saying, you told the people.
Who did I say
The
last week?
Lions, you said the Lions was going to lose.
I didn't say that last week. That is not the truth of the
okay.
matter.
All
That's
right.
not the truth of the
All
matter.
right. Okay.
But hey, Q, can you drop that intro for us?
The champ is here. 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 The champ is here.
Welcome back to State Champions Podcast, G. I think it's about that time. I don't know what you're going to break down this week. Your Coach's Corner segment. What you going to break down? You're going to break down your favorite Lions and what they should do, or you're going to break down a college game. What you going to do?
Well, I think each week when you start talking about my favorite Lions because you praying that they lose, I think that's kind of crazy for you.
No, I'm not.
You're not my
playing
team. I'm just telling you, me being an expert at sports, I can say that they're going to win 12 games. Now, we're looking at it. They win 2 out of 3. They don't win it 12. But here's the thing.
Okay.
I'm going to break down the Lions, I think specifically this week, breaking them down from last week. They really showed me something. They
Okay.
really showed me. It was a game not only that they had to win, but they had to win a certain way. And you got to admit that yourself. You're looking at them, you're saying, okay, this is a game in which they can lose. You got a good team coming in, and they dominated on each side of the football. I think tomorrow's game.
Wait. You saying the Denver Broncos, who lost by 70 this year, was a good team?
Listen,
So
Now-
yes, you said I'm
you
just
talking about yesteryear. I'm
They
telling you,
lost by 70. It was still the
their
season.
last 7, 8 weeks, they've been playing as good as football as just about anybody in the NFL right now.
Denver.
They've been playing pretty well, man. You gotta understand they put themselves in the race. They put themselves in a position to be in the playoffs in the AFC.
I got you.
You can't deny that.
I got you.
So
So
this,
you are you ready for your segment? Because we got to get them the cue for the segment. It's about that time. For
man,
the
I'm
segment.
always ready for my segment. You know how this thing goes. Stop playing with
Drop it.
Get ready for Coach's Corner. A one-time Michigan Coach of the Year, George T. Ward, gives his coaching perspective. Let's get to it.
All right, let's get to it. First of all, I think the one thing that we must do is I got to talk to Kid Easy Productions and Quincy Smith. They may not work here again.
Okay.
I have been the state of Michigan's Coach of the Year 3 times. So we're not gonna keep saying one. Because if that was you and it was incorrect, you would have changed. You would have called Quincy at 2:30 in the morning if you got your stuff wrong. So let's make sure we correct that. Next week, if it's not done, I'm walking off the set. Now, my segment, here we are. The Detroit Lions can clinch the NFC North, which they've never done before. Used to be the NFC Central.
Okay.
Tomorrow, Minnesota Vikings. I think the one thing that they must do, and I said this when they drafted this young fellow, Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, I'm going out on the left. Jahmyr Gibbs will be a Hall of Fame football player if he is utilized properly.
Okay.
He catches the ball out the backfield. He can run it like that before. He's tough like Walter Payton. He's got speed. He's got vision, everything he needs. I think if we really run the football, I don't want the coach to get cute on me this week now. I don't want to see any trick plays tomorrow. How about that? Somebody call Dan Kelso and tell him I said it. No trick plays this week. We're going to dominate each side of football. And Minnesota having a third-string quarterback in tomorrow. You take the Lions, they'll win probably by about 13 to 17 points, win the NFC North, and get prepared to win a football game. I don't know if they're going to beat Dallas, but they're going to win a playoff game. So that's my coach's corner. And I think we got to pressure the quarterback early because we're going to force them into a situation where they've got to pass the football. And the minute they have to pass the football, Aaron Glenn has done a great job in the last week or two of dialing up some blitzes. Okay. And I like what they're doing. Lions tomorrow, 13 to 17 points. Book it. Call FanDuel right now.
So Chief, you said a couple of things, and I know that's your segment, and you have to do your thing on that, but they're not going to be able to run the ball, number one. You got to understand how good Minnesota is in that front four. That's second. That's the first thing. Mm-hmm. Second, that's going to put them in a pressure situation where they have to throw the ball. Mm-hmm. Minnesota Vikings blitz more than any team in the NFL. They blitz about 46% of the time. Yep. Jared Goff is in trouble tomorrow. Remember, I'm telling you. Okay. Lions get beat, even though they have a third-string quarterback. They're going to get beat tomorrow. They're going to go to Dallas and get beat. So then they're going to be fighting for the NFC North, the final game of the year back in Detroit. Now, I'm not saying they're going to lose that one. They probably will win that one, but they will be fighting to win that game.
So you're going on record as saying
they're going to lose 2 in a row.
You're saying not only that, you are going on record saying that they will win the division, though.
Yeah, they'll win the division, but to the point, you got to remember, you and I have a bet.
Yeah, I know we have.
You said they had to win 12 games. I said they wouldn't win 12 games. And so let everybody know what's the bet if the Lions win 12 games. I have to wear a jersey, correct? And the bet that I put out there was if the Lions don't win 12, you got to come on the show with topless. Yep. Yeah, topless. So let's be clear. They will not get to 12 games.
Hey, man, you've been doing this since we was 14. Right. You ain't got to talk me to death. All right. See, you got to vehemently say that they're going to lose tomorrow because
they're going to lose tomorrow.
Well, you're supposed to say that because if they win tomorrow, you know that, hey, I'm going to pick out your Lions jersey. Man, I can't wait.
No, because here's what you see. I have the best side to it. Because if they win tomorrow, they win the division. They're still going to be fighting. They got to go to Dallas and get beat by Dallas. They not going to play the starters on the last game of the year, and I still get out of there. Back in, hey, man. Hey, you better shave that chest, too. You better shave all that hair off your chest.
Hey, let me ask you this. Man, is this coach's corner or is this you singing or something? It's American accent. All right. You wishing on a star right now, man.
I'm just telling you. I want to have it on record because I know how you do.
Man,
you'll come in. All right, so it's on record. All right, so
come on.
Let's get really, really quick. I'm going to go through my segment really, really quick. Man, can you drop that video for Harley?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the absolute best unknown handicapper in the country, Parlay Pete. With Parlay Pete's Pick of the Week.
It's going to be easy. be easy. Parlay Pete's picks of the week. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm gonna give y'all some easy ones. 3-teamer,
3-team what? For the people that
What?
don't know, 3-team what?
3-team parlay.
Okay.
It's called Parlay Picks of the Week.
You might go teaser, man.
No, I ain't going teaser this week. We're going parlay. This is gonna be an easy one.
Okay.
Here's what to put in there. Put Buffalo in there to roll the Chargers up. You take them on the spread.
What's the
12 and a half, they're gonna blow them out. That's gonna be easy money.
I like that.
Here's another one. Take a line at home against Indy, -1.5. That's gonna be easy money.
That's guaranteed.
Easy money. I would want to throw that Detroit on there, but I'm not going to throw that one on there.
You know,
No, I ain't going to throw that one on there. I'm going to give y'all the
what's
easy
the Lions line?
Lions line at -3 on the road.
Yeah.
Typically, when you -3 on the road, you get beat. It stays all week. And the easy one, take Kansas City at home. They're going to get off the snide. They will win against Las Vegas Raiders. It's -10. They'll win that one.
Ooh.
They'll win that one probably 31-17. Easy. They'll win that easy. So,
Man, you got the Son and Swami writing that down too, man.
Son and Swami writing down.
Nick, hey, man, you got
Nick
Nick
McCain
writing
writing that
Hey,
down.
he's the coach. Coach nigga's 87. He called him the Bucky and yeah, coach,
So now listen, man, we got to get started because we want to make sure that everybody that's tuning in get a chance to talk, ask questions, comment. Make sure y'all tuning in live on YouTube, obviously IG. We connect to that Facebook because we're going to bring up none other than the legend himself.
Absolutely.
The orchestrator, the architect
Yeah.
of the 3-time state champions class in 1987, 1988, 1989.
Yeah.
You can't forget about that. You had Big D, MT, also known as MD, Mr. Basketball player. I don't know.
Derwin, Ice Nice,
You gotta forget about. You can't forget about Derwin Good,
Ronald Hopkins,
Ken.
Hey, yo,
They were loaded. They were loaded.
They
They was loaded for sure. So what we're gonna do before we get to that, G, I definitely want to do one thing, and we want to make sure we talk about the holiday class. You want to do this, G, or you want me to do it? Because the holiday class coming up here.
You got the sheet in your hand. You got all the matchups.
So you got 2023 PSL Holiday Classic coming up December 27th over at Castle High School. Game is starting at 11, and then they end at 7:45, and then Public School League will come back on the 28th, and they will be at Renaissance High School. Absolutely, starting at 2:30. Those games end at 6. I see GU on here on the 27th. Martin Luther King versus East Lansing. Can you get it done?
Good basketball team. I tell you, East Lansing, you look at them overall, they're one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the state of Michigan, hands down.
Yes, sure.
Saw them this summer. They played together, very interchangeable, and it's kind of crazy that coach is here. Y'all remember the kind of teams the coach always said gave us problems. A bunch of 6'3", 6'4", interchangeable guys who can handle the ball. So that's kind of what East Lansing presents. It's a game that I wanted to have anyway, and we're looking forward to it. But, of course, we'll be in the building. We'll be there.
Oh, for sure. That'll be a great game. But I'm gonna tell you this. I don't feel like wasting my time coming down to the game and you lose. Okay, so this
I knew we were going there.
Nah, because I be having stuff to do,
I
Chief.
know you do.
But I don't want to come down here.
Well, I can tell you what you don't have to do.
What's that?
You don't have to coach.
Yeah, not that's what I choose not to coach. But I'm hearing that we got some people in the building. They saying I done heard this a couple of times. Y'all don't want me to say it. They saying if King don't get it done, they saying they're gonna allow you to resign. But you know what I'm saying? And then I might have a gig at the end of the year.
Hey,
You never know.
Trust me. If I don't have the gig, I can guarantee you won't get it.
All right. I'm just saying. So again, I'm just messing with you, but I'll be down. I'll come check you out on the 27th. Make sure y'all tune in. Go down there to the PSL Holiday Classic at Castick on the 27th and Renaissance High School on the 28th.
Got a girls game. We got a girls game or 2 in there, man. The game each day you got some great matchups, man. And
it's Henry Ford in there. You got Persian. Obviously, you got CT down in there. You got Central, Southeastern, and Western, and Renaissance boys following up against Roseville on the 28th. Tickets are $10 at the door. Make sure you guys celebrate, support the groups, and
That's right.
support the teams and,
That's
and
right.
everything that they do.
Support DPS athletics.
Oh, of course,
That's
of
the
course.
biggest thing. Support DPS athletics. You look at the city championships last year. The Final Four was at Wayne County Community College District downtown campus. An amazing event, an amazing venue, and then you capped it off 2 days later at Wayne State University. The first time we've had it at Wayne State, and the city championship was banging last year. So we're looking forward to it. And DPS needs the money, and our young people need the support. I just can't understand how our young men and our young women are playing athletics and doing something positive, and the families aren't out there enough. Let's get on out there. 27, 28. Take 2 hours out your day. Take 4 hours out your day.
And
Let's
watch.
support
Yeah,
some of these teams. Let's watch some good basketball.
absolutely. So I say without further ado, man, I think it's about that time.
Oh, man.
We're gonna bring up the man, the myth, the legend
Yeah. Yeah.
himself. I think it's time for us. And I need you to put that picture up there, cute, with him in action, Coach Kelso. Man, it's time. Coach Kelso, come on, man. We need you over here. Come on, Coach. You're gonna sit right in the middle.
Yeah. The guy. The guy.
All right, Coach, man. Listen, man. I'm sure it is tons and tons of people watching online and checking this out, and they want to hear from you. I think before we get started, I think that you should just tell everybody, because a lot of people thought you were still there. What have you been doing in the last 4, 5, 6 years?
What you been doing?
Well, I I coached my son last year
Okay.
um, in a, a community college, and
That's right.
at that point, I I was still retired,
Yeah.
and I decided to uh, invest some money
Mhm.
in a FedEx
Yeah.
truck business. I know it it would appear, but what happened was we invested some money in a semi trucking business, and it was during the epidemic.
Yes.
And what happened was, luckily, they pulled all, they made everybody stay inside,
Yeah.
pulled
Yes.
everybody off the road. So truckers were the only people that were able to stay out and still deliver. And we went from 4 or 5 trucks to 11 trucks.
Wow.
Well, I'm sure one thing for sure, anybody who's watching, they know Kelso, they know he know how to get a little bit of money now.
He gonna
And
get
he's gonna make the money, he's gonna triple it. And he tight in the sun gun with his money. Now he ain't gonna give you no money. If you ain't doing no work, you don't get no free. But coach, when you came to Cooley, tell everybody, how did you arrive at Cooley High School that year? Where were you coming from, and how did you get to Cooley High School?
Well, I was actually working at Redford High School.
Okay.
That's the old Redford.
Oh, now it's
Working at
now
Redford
it's
High School, and it just so happens I one morning I get up and I get a call from the superintendent in downtown Detroit, and they told me that I was going to be transferred to Cooley on Monday.
okay.
Okay, and I ended up going to Cooley. I was the assistant coach over at Redford,
Mhm.
and I I ended up getting the job in downtown Detroit at Cooley High School, and that was how I started with Cooley.
What year was that? What year was it?
Um, I think that was
85. It had to be 85, 86.
It was
86.
some
85, 86.
no, let me correct you. It was the summer going in the fall of actually 84 Coach's first graduating class was none other than Paris Curry, Curry's kid,
Yeah.
Terrence Bell, those guys. That was 1985 was his first graduating class.
So he came in 84,
In
85.
the fall of '84, when you and I walked in the building.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Man, that's crazy. I couldn't even remember that, coach. That was the fall. That was the fall because that was the year. Who was coaching over at the time?
Ziegler,
No, before. No, it was Coach. Oh, I can't think of his name.
football coach.
No, it was the basketball coach because I had got cut that season.
That was
Ziegler was
Ziegler was a coach prior to the
best.
coach.
Yeah, but the JV coach.
Oh, Lord.
Lauder, that's what it was. Coach Lauder, yeah,
Yeah.
Coach Lauder. But listen, Coach, because I know we gonna keep the show rolling. But I think we want to bring up somebody to make an announcement because I don't think a lot of people know what's about to happen.
Mhm.
And so, obviously, 1986, 1987, 1988, 1989, you arrive and we end up winning some state championships. And over the years, I don't think a lot of people understand this that we are the only thing in public school history, Detroit public school history, PSL, not called Detroit Public School Community District. But everybody, those two guys know it's simply one thing, the PSL. And so I was thinking over the years, nobody has ever honored those teams. And so I said, I got to make a couple calls and call a few people. So what we've done is going to be an announcement. We're going to bring none other to the stage, the
Yep.
director of athletics. And every day I've been wanting to call him, I want to call him like for real, like Jay Wright. I don't know, I'll be wanting to call him Jay Wright. Jay Alexander, athletic director, DPSCD. Come on up, Jay.
Jay, I think I'm gonna say this, Brad.
Yeah.
A lot of our people, they see Jay, they see the nice smooth hair
Yeah, yeah.
like his dad and all this, man. But what they don't know is Jay attended service for a minute, right?
Okay.
Jay is a Kelly Park. When you talk about Kelly Park, he pretty much his front lawn was almost connected to Kelly Park, and he's a Kelly Park Cooley High guy.
Wow.
And had he not gone to Benny and started in a couple sports and obviously became a baseball legend, he would have wore the black and red at Detroit Cooley High School. So I think when you look at our neighborhood and you look at all that we've done athletically, yep, he's part of that tradition. He went another route. But to look at him now as the head of DPSCD Athletics,
Absolutely.
they made a great choice, they made a proper move, and we got this thing rolling, man. None other than James Alexander, whose father was my second coach in life. And he's doing well. His health is doing pretty good again. But that guy there, it's 2024 almost. If his father was still coaching today and this guy was coaching today, they wouldn't be coaches. I can tell you that.
Right. So, Jay, go ahead and tell and give everybody an announcement. Let them know um, what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and you can talk a little bit how it came about, or tell a story or two that you want to talk about that you remember about the Cooley days. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's an honor to be around all you guys because literally, I was a pretty good basketball player,
Yeah.
Benedictine at the time. And
Yeah.
in '89, I can remember Rad, Ward, D-Light, Tony Tober walking in our gym. And I can remember, like, I want to be like them guys.
Mhm.
And I was just a little bit younger, but I was hooping with those guys. But I'm going to tell you, I would not have been able to make that team because y'all had Hop on the bench, who I thought was one of the best fastest cat in basketball, man. And I'm like,
Crossover.
I can't. If that kid can't play, I definitely can't play for Cooley at that time. There was no way in God's green earth I was gonna make the team. But it's an honor, man, and I look up to you guys, believe it or not, and to be here in this situation to lead Detroit Public School, I get goosebumps because with me it's just about doing the work, and I'm the guy behind the scenes trying to give kids more opportunity, trying to give coaches what they need to help the kids with the opportunities.
Absolutely.
And just to get it back to where it was, right? Because the Catholic League was second to the public school when I
Absolutely.
came up,
No doubt.
and I always wanted to be in the public school. So it's just crazy how it works out. But coach, it's an honor and privilege to be near you and shake your hand today as I did. and I'm still got goosebumps. I mean, I remember all y'all games. I remember the COOLEY.
Yeah,
Cooley, Cooley
you know
High.
it's time to leave there too.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
it.
over.
That was it, man. I remember D Light taking it to Doyle Callahan, in the Pro Bowl,
Oh
I
yeah,
remember all that stuff, man.
yeah.
So anyway, without further ado, I just want to say, Coach, it's going to be an honor to honor you and all your championship players at our championship. It's going to be held at Wayne State on February the 19th, 2024,
On a Sunday afternoon.
on a
Oh,
Sunday afternoon.
we need a round of applause, ladies. So, so Jay, when you think about, because I gave you that call, and I remember you said, "Well, man, I've been waiting on somebody to call because you want to do some things and start honoring some people."
Mhm.
And just tell the people how that call came about, and the
Yeah.
other thing that you really want to do, and how you want to tap into a lot of the guys who came out of the PSL.
Yeah, it was, Raph that called me. I said, Raph, I 100% dropped the ball with all of that because COVID hit, and we always blaming COVID. I want to stop, but it was truly my vision is to create PSL alumni. I mean, we
Yeah,
got over 200 former NBA guys. We got countless number of coaches who came through and put their tutelage, that we have not just hugged and gravitated to and said
Wow.
thank you. And so that is my goal, and I'm looking to start a committee so we can create a Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And that's what that. When you called me, I was like, absolutely,
That's it.
let's just do it.
absolutely, man. Outstanding. G, go ahead. I know you have to add to it.
Well, no, I just think it's a wonderful opportunity when you look at Coach, being here right now. And obviously people have stories and all that. But to really honor that team, and it sounds crazy for me to say that team because obviously we were a part of it. But to honor our guys, and I think specifically as we get to the end of the year, not to get too sentimental, but to realize that one of our guys was laid to rest this year off of those teams, Reggie Cash. I just think it's a great opportunity for us to have the families out, the community out to honor these teams. And man, what a blessing it is. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago. It
Oh,
was almost
absolutely.
40 years ago.
Yeah. So, Jay, we appreciate you. We know you. We thank you for coming out
Yeah.
on this Saturday before the holiday. I know you got to go.
You got
Probably
to
do some shopping. I really got to go myself, but I had to do the show. But we appreciate you, man, and we look forward to it. And we'll be in touch to bring it all together, make sure that everything goes off without a hitch.
Absolutely. And the last thing I'll say, my favorite line, and I leave with this quote and I end with this quote all the time, that with the help of many, we can do great things.
Oh,
And,
man.
and with the help of Coach Kelso and coaches like him, we've been able to do great things. We're going to continue.
No question about
No
it.
question about it. We got it. It's going down.
Man.
Thanks for the So, go ahead. I know you got because now, Coach, I think this is probably part of the show that where a lot of people are going to want to tune in. But before we get to that, I definitely want to do a drop of another sponsor,
Yes.
and it's that DC League Middle School Jamboree. That's going to be March. I want to say March, Monday,
Yeah.
January 15th to 24th, Birmingham Grove, MLK Jamboree. But it's going to be middle school. The one thing I appreciated last year when I went out to and saw the Jamboree that DC League put on, I enjoyed watching the young guys.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching the young guys. And to Jay's point, who just left, that's another guy, PSL legend, Detroit North, still doing great things. He's still trying to get back to the community with the middle school basketball. I'll definitely be out there. And go to DC League, and I'm sure you can find all the info and get your team in there because he said he's going to have about 40 middle school teams over there
Yep.
from Flint, Lansing, Macomb, Muskegon, and Saginaw. Make sure you contact Carl over there, Brother Carl, at 832-704-3593 if you want to get your team in there. So now what we're going to do, Coach, we're going to bring up some of the other guys. Some of the guys from the state championship teams. We're going to bring up
Got to get mixed.
87, Earl Stark. He was the beginning. And then we're going to bring up Big Daniel Light. We're going to bring him. So, D, Earl, you go to George side. Big D, you come on to the right side. Come on over to the stage. Let's get it done. Here we go. Hey, 44 42.
Some point too. Oh, baby.
Early work. So, man, it's crazy because we got the bookends now.
Oh
The 87, 89,
yeah.
bring it on you, see. You slide it, you slide it in front of me, Dan.
Touch. Okay.
Yeah, it's working.
We done did
So,
it.
we need to do construction, tear out and stuff. So, you want to tear it out? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we're gonna let it
Yeah.
come together, man.
So, really quick. So, we got Earl Starr, legend himself, the toy. Daniel Light. That's what everybody know you as. I know Ferguson now. Name change.
I tell people no matter what it is, they know like
They still know who you are.
Yeah.
So, Coach, when you think about these guys, when you look at Earl Starr, Big D coming up on the stage, what do you think about when you see Earl besides the jokester? And I'm talking about in terms of basketball and the IQ that Earl had when we were playing in back in the day.
Yeah. You know, the thing that I remember uh, most is the day that we were painting the gym in Yemen, put a brush in Earl's face.
I'm gonna kind of back and say, because a lot of people don't know this. They don't know because so listen, so for many years, I think people don't understand, Coach. It was basketball was really like just the vehicle to where you want us to go. But you use other things, which was the give back, doing things around the school. So we had one summer, yes, Coach had us painting the school, the fence. We were doing all kind of stuff. So now,
tennis court.
we did the tennis court. We did all the stuff. So, Coach, tell them about the story about what happened when Earl got paint on his face.
Yeah. Well, as I said, when it was really, we were painting all the gym and stuff.
Yeah.
And doing all that. And, you know, Earl didn't get along real well with Yemen, okay? So they had it. And so I come down the stairs, and Yemen was supposed to paint the side.
The side of the stairs.
He was painting.
Uh-huh.
And so he got upset, and I turn around, and Yemen has put a brush and painted Earl's face.
So you talk about some crazy times.
But we did. We actually, as Ralph was saying, we did more than just basketball. But
Yes.
you had to build a camaraderie that was last, that was permanent. And we were able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, EP, you on the stage, man. Man, we glad you here, man. We appreciate you coming out. I know you said you had to go to work, or you getting off work. You got to go. Or you getting off. Talking to the mic so the people can hear you. So, E, tell everybody just really quick. What do you remember about that 1987 team and those years we were forming that bond? What do you remember about that 87 team?
Well, our 87 team was a mixture of a bunch of us that grew up together.
Absolutely.
Because half of us stayed in the same neighborhood and grew up together, and the other half stayed in the other.
Yeah, a little further west.
A little further and grew up together. And then we all played basketball all the time, and we all had the same attitude. We did not want to lose.
Absolutely.
So with us battling each other in the gym and fighting, like we really actually fought.
Yes. At real fights. Absolutely.
Yeah, we really fought in that gym, and it brought us together.
Yeah.
And when we went to play other teams, wasn't no arguing amongst us.
No.
We took it out. We got on the other team. You know, we even had times where we would argue over who was gonna guard who.
Yeah.
Right.
Who gonna guard the best player?
We used to do that. That was basically us challenging each other. And then you got to understand too, we had an ex-NBA coach
Yes.
that was suiting up playing with
Plans.
us.
Yeah. Every day.
he was one of our toughest competitors.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and it didn't matter if you was big, little, small. He played you the same way.
You right here.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So that basically made us tougher. And then, like Coach said, it was more than just basketball. We did everything.
Yes.
Coach would pick us all up on finger. We go bowling.
Yeah. Different thing.
Go out to eat.
Yeah, go eat.
Go
Yeah.
to the movies. Or he'd trick us over to his house to do some work or something.
Yeah.
All that. We did all that together. And it kind of brought us together. Like during 87, nobody saw us over the summer.
Oh yeah, yeah. We gonna get to that story.
Yeah,
We
about
gonna
to talk
talk
about
about them some behind the scenes things
Yeah.
we gonna talk
Yeah.
about. But we want to slide over to Big D. Big D, 1980. Well, when you got there, you was a young baby.
Yeah,
That
Maybe
was
at a bunch.
what I remember the most was the summer before '86. The summer
That's it.
before we first won.
86. Summer of 86.
We went up to Charlottesville. We were together for like 2 weeks.
So you telling the story.
We
of
went
that,
to
man.
Charlottesville. We
Bird,
hold on.
Bird.
We went to Saginaw.
No. I'm gonna get you. I got
We
the
played
story.
the guys from Saginaw. We
That
streamed
was
it.
last. So you got
That was last.
We went to
Western Michigan.
Big
Last.
That's where we went first. No, we went. Did we go first?
No, that was last.
We went to Western Michigan, and then it branched off of that D, and we started, and we went.
I had it back.
We went on a 2-week tour, and so what I want people to understand as you're talking about this is the fact that there were no cell phones,
No
Right.
cell phones.
and we were just in a van, and understand we were in a van that had 4 seats.
10-passenger van with 20 people.
It was a 10-passenger van with about 17 people.
So I think
When-
I think this. Let me just say this because I think a lot of people. This is where I was going to go with that. And obviously, you remember the '86 year, but that's when it all really started.
That's when it started.
That's when it
That's
all
when it
started.
definitely started.
So when you think about this, Coach, the summer of 1986, and you were like, "Hey guys, make sure you get you some get you $40 from your mother." And first of all, $40 couldn't feed us all for no freaking 2 weeks. But it's one thing that I remember about that. But to this day, that probably doesn't happen anymore. We started out of Detroit, went to Western Michigan to team camp, and then we went further up north because we ended up at a point. We ended up at Central Michigan,
Yeah.
and we had to sleep in the gym.
Slept in the gym.
But then this is what I remember most about. We went to the fish farm, and then we went
Canoe.
We went canoeing.
Canoeing. We went canoeing.
camping.
And that was my first time ever some stuff like that.
Is, Coach, I say this to you, man. You talk all the time on the phone. I would have never gone. I haven't been fishing since then. I haven't gone canoeing since then. I haven't been camping since then. But to the point is where it was a phobia. It's just that inner city guy. But Coach had the wherewithal and the thinking. I'm going to take my team out of the city,
Yep.
get him some games, but he's going to build camaraderie. And that's what I really appreciated. And we went all the way through, and you told us to get $40. You already know, Coach, you had to have plenty of money. I know you did. Because you had been in the district and had been selling potato chips forever, you know what I mean?
Well, we were selling
And
them, yeah.
everything. But so we went all the way through, and we came back through Flint and Saginaw. And you tell us what you remember about that 2-week trip and what was the main purpose
Yeah.
behind that supposedly basketball trip. And then we came all the way through, and there was more to the story.
Well, I think you had to at that particular time you had to introduce the kids to more than just basketball.
Yes.
You had to have a program, and that's why at some point, there was a time when you had struggled, and I can remember this now. The night that we lost,
Yeah.
We know which night you're talking about.
it was a night, and we lost by 40 points that day.
Yeah. Where were we, Coach?
Down at the city championship.
Cobo Hall.
Cobo Hall.
And
That's all.
And listen, I I came to practice that morning. No one's there.
Oh,
No
man.
one there.
Oh, man.
No one's there.
Oh, man.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
At some point, I went to each individual's house, picked them up,
Somebody didn't come, though.
brought them back, put them back in the gym, and said, hey, listen, you got to live with adversity.
Yep. I remember this, coach.
But I tell y'all, see, this is what people don't realize is when you talk about the summer, right? So we played well that summer of '86. We hadn't won a state championship, hadn't won a city championship. And coach said to us on our way back, and we're going to Adrian. Y'all forgot that? Went to Adrian. We're up in Charlevoix. Now, for us to know where Charlevoix is, when I was a grown man, coach is doing some real driving. But on the way back, we're about to drink some water and kind of chill out and get on the road. And coach said, hey, guys, you guys look like the best team in the state of Michigan. I remember that. I remember him saying, I'm thinking like, it's a lot of teams in the state of Michigan. And lo and behold, his vision and to understand what we needed at that time, it wasn't just the talent. He saw that he had some pieces. What he saw was these guys got to get together now and bond. And when you talk about the architect, that is where you really started to make this thing roll. And the way we bonded that summer was unbelievable. And the summers behind that were incredible even more.
Yeah, I want to go back to what coach was going with that story. And I remember vividly after we lost to Southwestern. And to paint the picture, because I don't think a lot of people really remember, Southwestern was rated number 3 in the nation that year. Of course, number 1 in the state.
Yep.
We had played them a previous time before that at Cooley. They beat us by 12 points. And then down at the city championship game, they beat us by 39 points.
Yep.
39 points. For the first 4 minutes of that game, we did not cross the ball across half court.
Didn't get across half court.
And so I remember after the game, we're young fellas and coach was, we young guys, we don't know any better, but this is the true genius of coach, in my opinion.
Yep.
Is we decided we ain't coming to practice. We decided we ain't coming to practice.
That's
so now coach said it was the next morning. I'll tell y'all right now, we didn't go to practice for at least the week. And so finally coach got us back in the gym. I would never forget this as long as I live. And coach said it. He said, hey, fellas, I can't cuss because coach was cussing at the time. I like cussing. Hey, you punk son of a guns.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't done.
You speak and you decide that you're not going to stand up and fight. And I think this is where you was going, coach. Adversity is when you stand up as the man. And you said, never forget this. You said, do you want to be the mayor of the city or do you want to be the governor of the state?
Yep.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yep.
And so when he said that, it was like, wow, the light bulb clicked on. But for people who remember and people who don't know, the players who were there, you got to remember, we did not touch a ball for the entire week. That's when bear crawls, wheelbarrows were introduced, and suicide was just part of it.
We read
And then carrying the person on the back.
Carrying the person on your back up the stairs to the track.
After jumping the chair.
And jumping chairs.
Good
So,
God.
Coach, go ahead, because you were going to that about the adversity. But go ahead.
Well, yeah, like I said, I didn't have basketballs for a week. I was trying to make them accept and see what it was like to struggle
And life.
And I tell you, when we started that, we just continued to win, and it just kept right on going. And we got to Southwest.
Yep.
And Paris down on the other end. And I said, I walked down there.
Start trouble. You walk down. Coach, first of all, why would you walk down there?
I walked down the end.
Passive aggressive.
And I said, Paris, You want me to win it today?
Damn.
I'm gonna beat you today.
Mhm.
And it from start to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start to finish.
What about not to cut you off, coach? But what about the ride up there?
Oh,
Y'all remember?
Ooh.
Now this was
Ooh.
amazing.
now see this when it all come full circle because again, Southwestern had beat us in that city championship game. And so
Mercifully.
I mean after 39 points, it was unheard of.
Yep.
So that the morning before the state championship, now I have to tell the story because people got to get the how it all went down for me in my head. And the night before, so oh dude, he coming, he say, listen, he said, son, I, I'm not coach, I'm just your dad. That's what that was his favorite thing to say. He said, listen, but if it was me, what I would do for Southwestern, I go boxing one.
Boxing 101.
Boxing one on Anderson. I said, Dad, like, no, we can't do that because they got too many other good players. And so obviously he gave his spiel, and I tell people, I love Cooley. I'm sure Deedus felt the same way, George. See, I used to sleep in my uniform. I used to sleep in my uniform short for short every night before the game. That's before we could take our stuff home. But anyway, so the next day, Coach called us up. We had to come to the school getting ready for the state championship, and he said, listen, I showed y'all everything. Y'all know exactly what they do. And what we're going to do, we're going to go boxing one on Anderson Hunt. And Raphael, you got him. I was like, I got you, coach. I remember like it was yesterday. So to the point for me, first of all, for my old dude to endorse you, another man outside the household, you had to be legitimate, okay?
Ain't no,
That's number
yeah,
one.
ain't
For
no
him
doubt.
to endorse you, I was like, man, he must be good at feeling coach. But that morning when you said that we were on a boxing one on Anderson Hunt, I was thinking, wow. So my old dude, he knew a little something. So that day, we get on the bus, never forget it. We were the silly crew. You still had Earl, Big D,
Right.
you still had Mike, you
Right.
still had Derwin, silly guys. But that day on that ride when we left from Shelf Pond,
Not a pin.
we left from Shelf Pond. We poured down Shelf Pond and got to Greenfield. You did not, nobody cracked a smile. It was, I never forget, I stood up. I said, fellas, listen to me. This is the last game, and we have to put it all out on the floor. And I remember Durbin, I remember this vividly. He gave me this little smirk, but he didn't say much.
Yeah.
And nobody, now you think about this. This is in 1987. You taking a group of young black boys from the city of Detroit on the ride up to Ann Arbor because most people don't know this championship was in Ann Arbor at Chrysler Arena, and the semifinals was at Michigan State at
Genesis.
Jefferson Field. And so we rolled from Greenfield to Shelfront where nobody said not a single word. But gee, I know you got to add to it, and coach, and I want you to follow up with that.
Well, no, I just, I remember actually breaking my thumb before quarter. So I'm sitting in the back and I'm thinking, like, is this about to really happen? And the confidence that we felt, because you got to understand, Coach had, this is what people don't realize. Coach was so genius. We devoted 15 to 20 minutes, and I mean this in a literal sense, every day of practice for about 3 months to the Southwestern prospectors.
Oh, no question. No, yeah.
Every day. He didn't call it that, Keith Bates. And we got another 3 from Southwestern in the back right
Bingo.
there, man. Eastside Ray, my main man, my guy, my assistant coach. We devoted 15 to 20 minutes every day on the running show. And one thing people don't realize is, you hear about Southwestern and all that, but you do not realize how well prepared they were. You don't realize how tough they were. They were
How
not
well coached they
how
were.
well coached they were and how talented, athletic, fast, and tough. And they had, let's be realistic, they had more of a pedigree than we did.
Of course.
So now coming in and to win that thing and to see, and I'm looking at this thing, and after the first quarter, we're going back and forth. By the second quarter, I'm thinking, hey man, they in trouble. I remember saying, I said, oh hell, because I'm looking at my guys. I said, they comfortable as hell right now.
Mm-hmm.
Rapid off the window, we rolling. And they couldn't stop. Lil Frank, they couldn't stop Big D. And Earl is checking, and I'm saying to myself, the third quarter, because we thought like this because Coach had prepared us for this. I said in that third quarter, those first 4 minutes, if we stay in this thing, we're going to rewrite history. And lo and behold, a lot of codes to me, bills and everything, 82, 77.
Oh, I
Right
know.
now.
I never,
So go ahead. Yeah, I know you got to go ahead.
man, it was so crazy because Coach, it was like he was animated because he always is.
Mhm.
But we had such a calmness about us. Every run they tried to make, stop him. I mean, it was just like we played the perfect game.
Uh-huh.
It was like we played the perfect game.
Oh, that perfect thing. So listen, Coach. Now, so you was going to where you went down there, started trouble with Coach Watson, told him to his face, "You ain't gonna beat me," and then that just started it all right there. So now we go on the court, we do our thing. But I remember in that game, this was the craziest thing ever. It was Mike, me, and Earl. So Southwestern, to the people who don't know, that run and jump press phenomenal.
It was like
College
that.
coaches come to watch
Yes.
them to learn that press. So in the game, they could not get the ball from us. Coach, you remember this, I'm sure. And they couldn't get the ball from us. And we saw Southwestern back up into a
2-3 zone.
2-3 zone. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And Coach had put into play, it was called zero. Zero.
Meant that.
And zero simply meant one thing and one thing only. You taking only one shot, and that was a layup. Now, Coach, I want you to chime in
Yeah.
and go to that and talk about how many times we passed it on that possession and how we destroyed them on that one possession. You're going to tell that story.
We had as you said, we had a play that we knew was zero. Okay, now he's gonna back up. I had never seen this. As a matter of fact,
Ever.
the um, the the reporter is
In the building.
Yeah,
okay. He knows that Southwestern has never ever backed off into a zone.
Never.
G. Bates shaking his head too right
And
now.
and I knew the reason he backed off is because he couldn't handle the the press was too the press breaker was too
Too
difficult
good.
for him,
Yep.
and he had to back up. And if he had to back up, that's why we prepared. And I knew he was going to back up because he was going to back up, or I was going to continue to hit,
Score.
Score.
and we was going to score.
And where's going to score?
So he
Hey,
had
D,
to back off.
really quick while you're talking, D. Let Mick McKay come up real quick. Get your seat in. We're gonna bring you back so that you could talk about the '89 run. But so, Coach, to that point, I remember this, and I remember on that floor, and we were passing the ball around, and we passed around. We shot fake, I swing. Mike would swing it to me. I shot fake, dribble the gap, swing it to Earl. He shot fake, dribble the gap, throw it back up to Mike, and we passed the ball on one possession. Now, people, y'all don't believe this, I'm sure, but I'm telling you, we passed the ball 55 times on one possession. I remember this game like it was yesterday. I can hear the people in Chrysler Arena booing. Boo, boo, they booing, and they're saying boo. But Kelso taught us that zero. We taking one thing, and that's a layup. Not a floater, not a 15-footer. If you can't get all the way to the backboard and lay it up at the goal, you are not to shoot
This ball.
that shot. So now we have the legendary Mick McCabe in the building.
What was it called? What was he called back then?
Son of Swami.
SOS, Son of Swami.
Son of Swami. The Son of Swami, he said that, we were rolling at this point. And the Son of Swami wrote in the paper that Southwestern was going to destroy. What do you remember? Nick, first of all, thank you for coming on to the
Man,
show.
appreciate you. You guys. Yeah. Thank you.
What do you remember about that 1987 state championship game? And if it was bets back then on the board, we'd have been plus 25.
Plus
minimum.
Minimum.
Yeah, because the one thing I remember the PSL championship game covering that,
Yes.
and I don't remember it as 40, but I do remember it over 30.
Yep.
And so knowing the way Perry Watson was, if he beat you by 39 there, he was going to try and beat you by 50, just because that's the kind of guy he was.
Uh-huh.
And so I just remember, okay, when are they going to start running away with this?
Uh-huh.
I kept waiting, and it wasn't happening.
Yes, sir.
And so by the third quarter, I says, "Hey, if these guys they keep doing this, they got a great chance to win the game." Because you knew that Southwestern was frustrated out of their mind.
Yes.
And then when you go to that 0,
Uh-huh.
I mean, and this isn't just because it was Southwestern. Any high school team, they can't play. They can't play defense for 10 passes. Okay, much
Let
less
alone 40,
30
50.
or 40 or whatever it was. So they were going to break down.
Yep.
And that was one of the things that coach knew that nobody else knew.
Mm-hmm.
That he realized that a long time ago. And so just by making them play defense, number one, you were going to get a layup. Number two, they couldn't score.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have the ball.
There you go.
So all of a sudden it gets, wait a minute, this is really happening.
It's really
I mean,
happening.
Yeah, because if you saw the PSL championship game,
Yes.
you knew there was no way that Cooley could win the state championship.
Wow.
That Perry Watson was definitely going to win his first state championship.
Yes.
And it didn't happen.
And it didn't happen. And just remembering that game, man, it just brings back so many memories because it goes, like I said earlier, it goes back to the summer of '86 when we were all putting it together, when Coach had the wherewithal again to say, y'all guys need to do something else. Let's get out of the city. And George, you brought it home when you said at the end of that trip, you guys just won the state championship. And of course, at the time, we young guys, we just out there, all right, whatever.
Yeah, we
And
hear
then it came to pass. But go ahead, G.
I think, we're sitting here, we got to talk about all three. I think it would just be appropriate if Earl, what's your final, that was you graduated. We're looking at one another. And again, I know all high school guys do it. They can't tell me that they don't. We're looking as we're winning, as we get to the regional, as we get to the quarter, and we're looking and we're saying, well, Yay and Earl are leaving. Two of the best players in the state of Michigan. Yamie went on to play at Star at University of Southern California. But in our mind, we're looking and saying, man, we can do this again. What was your thought as we culminate, we win that state championship up in Chrysler? What was the thought? And you got to understand, yep, Curtis, Kidd, and Paris McCurdy, and Dula, and those guys, Dre Reams, helped get us started. Joe Conley teaching us how to win.
Mm-hmm.
But for all intents and purposes, you and Yay kind of taught us how to win, how to be professionals, how we supposed to conduct ourselves at that time, knowing that you leave your little brothers. What was your thought on being the first? Ain't too many times people can say they're the first at anything.
Yes.
You being the first, our captain, our leader, what was your thoughts, man, that day when the horn sounded and we standing there? What was going through your mind?
Well, when we first won it, I was kind of shocked because I was like, I just sat down.
Mm.
Okay. Everybody else was jumping up and I kind of just sat down and be like, we did it.
We did it.
Did it.
Uh-huh.
All the hard work paid off, all the suicides, all the bring that mic closer to you. They saying they can't hear you online. All the carrying of George up and downstairs.
Yeah, he was my
George
partner.
was my partner.
Yeah,
He
was
was
my partner.
this size,
Damn.
and I had to carry him upstairs. But I wasn't this size.
Oh,
but
you
that's another story.
Another story.
But because I was about to say, Earl, I thought you was my partner, and I was like, I remember carrying you.
It was different
like,
days. You got to remember, it was different days because coach would be like, here, you go with him, you go with him. He would switch it up sometimes because normally, a lot of times it was me and Earl, then it was you and Earl, it was me and Eric sometimes.
But it was like the year before, we had a good team,
Yes.
but we had seniors who was they was defiant of Kelso, should I say. They was going to do what they wanted to do despite what Kelso wanted them to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, when they left,
That left me and a couple other seniors, but we was already on Kelso's page following what he wanted us to do.
Exactly.
So he didn't have to worry about us being knuckleheads.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Because you had Zigga Boom,
Zigga Boom, Joe Boom.
you had good to see was
a bunch of booms.
then you had a bunch of boom. Then you had my cousin Jeff was on the team who was
Yeah,
Hardaway.
Jimmy Boom, you had
Hardaway.
Joe Boom,
everybody. Coach
All these
man,
bucks.
all these
Artie
bucks.
Buck.
There's so many coaches, so many people online, coach saying hi to you. It's so many, too many to count. But
But one thing, you were still knuckleheads.
yeah,
Yeah,
He
but
just taught us how to act, though.
we were still knuckleheads, but we were scared knucklehead because we knew 10 miles is coming.
oh yeah, you get that 10 miles. Coach put
You
you
get that 10 miles.
he put you on
I
that
don't
track.
wanna- I don't want to talk about the 10
You don't
miles.
want to talk about the 10 miles.
Raphael has a great time at
Laughing
the
at
so,
this.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
So he what Earl is referring to is
No, we don't have to talk
no,
about
we got to tell the people
No,
what
we
really
don't.
happened on the 10 miles. So when you if you had, I think if you got an F on your report card,
F on your report card.
but then this particular one, let me have that.
If you got in trouble at home,
You got in trouble at home. So one time, what happened was Earl decided he was going to skip practice,
Oh, man.
and he was going to go over some little girl house.
Oh,
And so what happened was Earl missed practice, and his mama came up to the
and he
school.
lied.
His mama
Earl
came up,
lied.
and his mama said, and his mother said
Thanks, sir.
that that what happened was that she came to school and said, you know what, where Earl at? And she was like, and coach was like, he not here. He said he was with you. So coach and her made a deal. Coach and Hope made a deal. Don't say nothing, and I'm gonna take care of Earl tomorrow. So Earl come back to practice the next day. Say Earl. Earl. So how was it with you and your mom? He said, it was good, coach. I just had to do some work painting every day. And Kelso was like, Earl, you a damn liar. Your mother
was up here.
Your mother was up here yesterday, and she said you was not with her. And you set them up on the track for the 10 miles. I will never forget this.
and he had somebody count.
When he was
And he
done,
had somebody count him.
this was Coach Carter.
Every single lap somebody counted that lap, and I'll never forget it when Earl came downstairs.
What was he doing?
His whole body was
He started cramping. His whole body started cramping. Keith Bates, he was balled up, man. He was crying. And it was like somebody was punching him because he kept grabbing spots. He said, ow, ah, ah. Earl had ran 10 miles, but needless to say, Earl Stark, the toy, never missed practice again.
Never missed practice again. But I can tell you what. Go ahead.
That wasn't the final of it. All that spazzing and hurting.
Oh yeah, Earl. Oh, you up in the drill?
I come down off the track,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking I'm done for the day. Because I done ran my 10 miles.
Get in here, Earl.
All right, Earl, you're in on the drill.
He ain't on the drill. Ain't that crazy?
And Raphael thought that was funny.
Yeah, of course. I know
Wow.
He died laughing.
Raph still laugh at this
To this day.
Every time somebody catch a cramp, Raph say, hey, man, he got the Earl.
So let's move forward. Let's move to now. After we won the 87. So I think that was probably the most improbable Magic runs probably in the history, to your point, Nick.
Pretty close, yeah.
And that nobody would have thought that we would have won that.
Yep.
Now you have this 88 team.
Uh-oh.
And now you have Earl is gone, Big Yeaman is gone.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to really retool. We just had to make some adjustments.
No.
Coach, what do you think? What do you remember about that 88 team? And I think you started talking about this when you and I were on the phone. You talked about how the first one, it happened, but the second year was the most difficult. Why did you think the second was the most difficult?
Well, I think that once you had such a powerful team,
Mhm.
It made it very. Guys were overconfident,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things that you have to do if you ever get into basketball is trying to adjust to overconfident people.
Yes.
Okay, because they just. I see that in professional basketball.
Okay.
They get overconfident real quick.
Yep.
You know, and so when you have to deal against overconfident, then it makes a big difference. And we had a lot of problems during the year. And well, what I would do is I let them know that it was not going to matter. We suspend people.
Yep.
We suspend people. Hey, win or lose, we suspend people. We stay what we were adjusting to. We
Mhm.
stay with the program no
Mhm.
matter what happens. Okay, and we stayed with that program, and I can tell you right now, I really think that that was the biggest reason that we won 3 state championships. Now let me go
Yeah.
back
Okay.
to winning 3 state championships. That third one, we were down by 20 points going into the last quarter. Now, when we were down
Persian
at
quarterfinals.
Cobo,
Mhm.
20 points down going into the last quarter,
Persian quarterfinals.
and 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 we won by 9. And I can tell you right now, there wasn't any people that would believe that we practiced on a particular press every single solitary day and never used it until that game.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And what people forget oftentimes, and I know Kate Felder and Boo Boo remember this, but Daniel Lighton had fouled out the basketball game.
Oh, absolutely. That Persian
So
game. Yep.
in people's mind, the dynasty was over. But going back to '88 draft, I think that's kind of Earl's departure, Ye's departure now, and you were already obviously, you started the first game when you were at number 12. Memory was hanging off. I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, I remember.
I was
Sure.
like, damn, man,
Sure.
because I'm like, hey man, Ralph catapult. He's starting over at high school. Let me get it. But you were a starter penciled in all year, all city honors, all of this. You one of the best players in the state of Michigan. And now your leadership role was already there. But now here we come. And now Reese is there. And now Derwin and my role changes. And now the leadership. And I think the one thing that people don't realize, Keith Bates, when you look at it, our mindset didn't change. And I think what Coach did was genius. And Coach is not giving himself enough credit for this. Is that, yeah, there was some problems, but I talk about self-inflicted adversity. I talk about intentional adversity to my players all the time, to my
Okay.
children.
Mm-hmm.
Coach created an environment to make sure, Hop, to make sure that we didn't get overconfident.
Yeah.
And I remembered in the summer, he kept saying, hey, you guys gonna get your ass kicked now. Hey, and I'm telling you, George, you think you're super cool and all of this. And I remember but I remember Coach being a genius, and I talked to guys, and I said, "No, you look at the X's and O's of what Coach was doing. I saw and recognized as a 53-year-old what he was doing in June because, again, we won it once, and he's no fool now. He's saying, oh, my God, Daniel and Michael, Derwin, Hop are all coming back in '89. If I get this '88,
Yep.
I'm about to do something that hasn't been done because you weren't going to beat them in '89. I don't care who it was.
Yeah, no, it's way too talented.
And some of the rules and some of the things that he implemented, Keith Bates, you talk about behind the scenes. Daniel Lighton, Raphael Peterson, and myself come to a summer league game at St. Cecilia.
Yep.
Well, we pull up, and D and I always wore fisherman hats. So this isn't new. My players think this is, coach think he cool. We've been doing this a long time ago. So we're playing LL Cool J. It's 1987, the summer of '87. We're the state champions. We got practice jerseys. We got state champions. We the guys. And coach, we pull up. We are not late to the game. We weren't going to be late for a game. Difference is now we're driving. And coach looks at me. He looks at D. And he puts his upper lip to his nose. And he said, you know what? You three cool mothers. You're not driving to another damn summer league game. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute now.
Because we just drove to the game.
We just drove to the game. We ain't got no girls with us or nothing. Now, I've had players pull up with their ladies. I'm thinking like, you can't do that. But what Coach was doing was reshifting our
folks.
focus.
Absolutely.
And to see him do that, to understand we grew up in the height of the drug era in our city, let's be realistic, and to make sure that we stay focused enough
Absolutely.
to attain a certain goal. And Coach, talk about that summer now, because again, now after winning the championship, I know how it goes. You had just defeated Mike Tyson in everybody's mind, Southwestern, and we're coming back. What was your mindset? And what was your thought about us to get it done again?
Well, I think my thoughts was to try to make sure that I kept everybody uh, focused, and we had a lot of players returning. Okay, that year, and I knew I knew that it's going to take a lot for us to get through this year, and once we got through
Mhm.
that year, then it was going to be when we had to play. Let's say, for instance, we didn't have any problem actually losing the games. For instance, I really didn't try real hard to
Uh-huh.
win that city championship.
Never
I
did.
could have won
Ab-
that.
Never did.
absolutely.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
but I knew, for instance, the guy sitting down on the end is
Son
the
of Swami.
is the
Son of Swami.
person
That's
is
all.
the person who made me aware of situations like that. For instance, he doesn't probably realize this, but at one point he had said to me that, "Hey, people don't remember who won city championships.
Ah. Oh,
They
okay.
record the state
Mm.
championships."
Nice.
You know, and I remember that from just a long, and I to stay with my focus was on winning the state championship because I knew that was what was going to go in the books.
Wow. Big McKay, what you respond to that because Coach always come up with some things that I don't remember, but I could see you saying that.
Yeah, because for the longest time, the PSL champ
Uh-huh.
would lose in the district almost every year until Southwestern, they gave them the side door out.
Okay.
They would go to Lincoln Park. They
Down
wouldn't
river.
right, they wouldn't play anybody.
Okay.
So, like Detroit Central, they won the PSL, killed the Catholic League champ, and they got beat
In
by
the
Highland
district.
Park in the first game in the district.
Okay.
And to the kids, everything was a PSL championship. They go from playing in Cobo, to playing in a high school gym,
Mhm.
and there was an unbelievable letdown. But coach wouldn't let that happen because he knew the most important thing was the state championship, and it was.
And it was, and I just wanted to say what up to a lot of people online, Joe Blankenship, Finkelboy,
Like,
so many people chiming in. Russell Johnson is too many for me to count, but they all say, "What's up, coach?" Jimmy Macon over at Central, he was like three coaches on the stage. Started was over at Central. We was at Central for a little while. We did our thing over there, but coach, when I think back to that '88 run and to George Point and to what y'all were saying, it was truly magical in the sense that it was genius, I would say.
Yes.
You would create those situations. Because I would be thinking, why is coach complaining about this? This ain't nothing to complain about, you know what I mean? But now when you look back on that time, you say he was doing this intentionally to keep us focused so that we would understand what was the most important thing, which was that state tournament and that state run. Because I remember Q, I think we got a picture. You got that? I think I put a picture in there when we lost to Cass Tech. Was
In
that
the in the
in the
semifinals. No.
semifinals?
In the
In the
quarterfinals of the city
quarterfinals?
playoffs.
In the city playoffs.
Yeah.
Q, you got that picture? I think I got that over there.
We're coming off the court.
We coming off the court.
It's the one you
But
had on the flyer.
the one you had on the flyer, but that was I remember that, and I remember because we came back around after we lost the Cass in the city championship. And Son of Swami, he wrote in the article, Cash, Cool, Cooley. The next time we had to see him, the next time around.
Everybody that we lost. So what I remember about '88, that's our senior year now. How this y'all junior year is we lost 3 games. So during the course of the year, we lose to McKenzie. We at Detroit Cooley High School on a Friday afternoon.
Yep.
The score had got to the high 80s. Before I go further, Coach, talk about that game. We lost to McKenzie, David Fluker, Tyrone Worthy, and the guys. We lost to them, and Hall was over there then. Talk about that game and how it got to the 80s, and
No. Tell him why you
let us run like that.
Now here's what I did. They the guys were getting so much confidence. They just were well overconfident, and so they kept coming to my office and talking to me about, like, Coach, you got to let us go. You got to let us go. I said, now
That was rap.
we can do this stuff. We can let us go if you have. I said, now I tell you what, Ralph.
Yeah, there you go. Who just said you go?
It sounded just like
Hey, Coach, hold on. Go ahead, Coach.
I said, I tell you what, Ralph. I will sit there and say nothing.
Just let us know.
I'm going to let you have it your way. You can go if you want. And I said, I'm just gonna sit there.
And you're gonna get your shots up,
I'm
Ralph.
gonna let you. You can get all the shots you want and all the stuff you want. I'm not going to interfere or say a thing. Okay, I didn't say it that way, but
Yeah, of course.
No, you didn't say it that
anyway,
way.
I said, all right. So we're playing McKenzie at Cooley.
At Cooley High School.
And
3
I just let everybody go. I let them run like they wanted to, take a shot when they got ready.
Man.
Anything that they wanted to do, they could do in this game.
if I were Jim.
And
What happened, Coach?
they lost 94 to 92.
90. It was 94 to 92. Everybody was ecstatic. It was
All of us, see, what you got to talk about is people forget McKenzie was stumping on that Cardinal after that game. I remember that like it was yesterday.
and Matthew Amaker,
Yeah,
who almost put the Cardinal in the pool. He was stomping. He was 300 pounds. And we look up, and he's stomping on that thing. And he and I go down the basement. Ralph come down. Ralph comes downstairs. We kind of melancholy.
D.N. Mike, let's finish that. It was D.N. Mike.
Man, we
Come down there.
Ralph like, man, what's wrong with y'all, man? Y'all acting like some bees. I said, man, we just lost the game. He was like, man, forget that, man. We'll be all right. We're going to see him again. And this is how it went. And this is what I'm talking about. We lose to McKenzie. We play him in the districts. Needless to say, McKenzie, bye-bye. Get your summer. So our motto that year was always, when it first started, from 87, get your summer league and your AAU clothes ready.
Yep.
So we beat McKenzie. Boom, you gone. And what people don't remember, and we remember vividly, is that district. See, people talk about that we won the state championship.
Yep.
Forget that. The first weekend in March, and Mick wrote an article on this, I'll never forget this. We had 4 teams in the top 10 in the state of Michigan in one district in 87.
Yep.
Detroit Cody High School, Andre Sasser, DeJuan Blankley in that crew.
Yep.
Refford, Bishop Borges.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Cordell Robinson in that crew. Parrish Hickman, Dwayne Kelly. They had 4 Division I starters. And then you're talking about on Wyoming and Chicago, Johnny Woodson, Doug Smith, Tyrone Worthy, and the crew. So before you start thinking about, hey, man, we're going to get to the regional, every game that you play, you did not have a game in that region, in that district, where you say, okay, we're probably going to beat them. And to win that every year and come out of that district, we were probably, and Mick alluded to this, Son of Swami, we were probably more battle-tested than Southwestern was. Southwestern did not have a real basketball game for years until they got almost to Jenison in the semis. So when you look at, here's the picture right here. We're coming off the floor right there.
Walking off.
Come on the floor right there. Coach in his quite familiar I'm gonna say quite familiar red jacket.
Red jacket, that
Cause,
red
'cause, hey,
jacket, infamous red jacket.
Because Coach got the red, he got the red and black Run DMC jogger suit that he was gonna wear. Then he had the black and red jogger suit he was gonna wear. And then other than that, it was gonna be the red fox, baby. He gonna have on his red sport coat with his black pants, baby. We ain't gonna do too. We knew the game was big when the Cardinal patch was out on the lapel almost. So when you look at it, Coach, 88, we get to the state tournament. After we lost the Cavs, what's your thought now to get us re-geared?
Well, like I said, we got there, and we had a real tough game with Southwestern. They actually Southwestern really never got away from us, and probably I remember most. George was coming off of the bench, and I think it was who had fouled out.
Your man, you're right.
Someone had fouled out.
Me, it was me. I fouled out.
Ralph.
Yep, I fouled out.
No. First of all, I remember now that Ralph didn't even I didn't know, and Ralph didn't know that he had 4 fouls. I had no idea that he had fouls.
You know why? You know why you didn't have 4 fouls? You didn't know we had 4 fouls, Coach. And this is again the behind the scenes stuff. And let's say it right now, guys.
Yeah.
To add to his brilliance, and God rest Gary Green's soul, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. We did not have. Now listen to me. I want everybody to listen to
what
me.
he about to say.
The greatest coach possibly in the country, right? X's and O's. I'm telling you what I know to be true. He didn't have an assistant coach. Now listen to me. I'm looking at you guys in America. I'm looking at y'all in the hood right now. Ben Kelso. When people ask us who was his assistant coach, D, would you tell everybody, could y'all tell everybody really, starting about 87, 88, who was Kelso's assistant coaches? Ralph and I, so what we did now, you're talking about behind the scenes, this is ingenious. People say, man, well, when you start coaching? I said, well, I got to be honest, 1986. And they said, wait a minute, you were 16. I took a team, Ralph took a team. Now people are thinking like, yeah, okay. I'm telling you, I took it. And what made Coach so relevant with this is the fact that we didn't go scrimmage other teams. And we said, hey, Coach, again, we complaining, I guess. Hey, man, we need to go scrimmage somebody, man. Southwestern scrimmage split Northwestern yesterday, and we need to go to. And Coach said, now listen, asshole. I'm telling you right now, you have enough right here, right now to get this thing done again, George. Now listen, you shut the hell up, and Ralph, you shut up and listen to me. We'll scrimmage each other once a week. Ralph, you get a team. George, you get a team. And what we're going to do is you two fools will change the defenses and the offenses while you're playing.
Yes.
Now listen to me. We were changing, me and Dooley were changing offenses and defenses on the floor as we played. And when I look at the teams broken down, in 87, we had as complete a basketball team as you would ever have.
Absolutely.
We had 2 6'7", 6'8" guys on our team that most people probably didn't see play on a Tuesday and a Friday. But once we got this thing going, it was unbelievable. And you look at it, like Coach said, he didn't know that Raph had 4 fouls for one reason and one reason only. As Jordan Peterson walks in the door, his father had 4 fouls, but Kelso didn't know it because there was too much going on.
Well, Ralph fouled out in the first half.
No, it was the third quarter, Coach.
The third quarter. I didn't have any idea.
Why did you give him that 23 jersey too, Coach? Why did you give him the 23? See, let's talk. Yeah, see, now that we right here, man, you know what? Forget all this celebratory stuff. I'm done.
No,
So Coach comes in one day, again, with little known Black History facts, nephew. Coach comes in one day. We got some new unis, right?
Yeah, got the new unis.
Got the red unis, and we got the Cardinal out red unis with the black numbers. We killing them.
Longer shorts.
And longer, no, they wasn't really that longer. 89 got the longer shorts. Hop and Beeman got our shorts were still boxer briefs. Yeah. But here we go. Coach comes out, he got the unis. Hey guys, look at here. You got new unis. Well, he pulls out one particular. Now listen, now listen, now listen. Now, Coach ain't never had no favoritism. I ain't tripping or nothing like that. But I do understand now who the baby was. Now listen, now. So now Coach ain't just coincidentally reached in the box because I can add a little bit. 23 is down in the middle somewhere. Well, he comes out the box. Look at here. And he looks, and it's a 23. Well, nephew, we didn't have a 23, everybody. There was no 23 at Cooley High School. As a matter of fact, this is what people don't know. Most of the PSL teams all had even numbers. Even numbers. Rab got the 23, and Coach ceremoniously hands him the 23.
Hey man, come on, let's move on. Hey man, we got to bring D back. I mean, but you have some more stories you want to add before we let D back up in here.
Well, one was from the '88.
Hmm.
We played Southwestern in the semifinals,
Yes, in the
not the finals. But we
Yep.
were. It was at Jenison, and up in the press box, we have the Free Press had our own phone.
Yes.
The news had their own phone. So the phone rings just after the game ends, and I pick it up. And, hello, and our assistant sports editor, Owen Davis at the time, knew of how I felt about Perry Watson. And here you guys have just beaten him. And I said, hello. He goes, get that smile off your face.
Well, and the crazy thing about that is like Coach said, Ralph falling out. When you look at it, Mick, we're doing an interview, and I remember sitting there talking to Mick during the second game, and you could almost kind of see the joy in Mick's face and the surprise a little bit. And I think the arena, Genesis, was still kind of saying, uh-oh, I think we're about to witness something that we haven't seen before.
Absolutely.
And to go on and win it again, and to beat two programs. We beat Southwestern in the semis.
Right.
And then we defeated Flint Northwestern.
Yeah, Northwestern for sure.
We did a hell of a job, man. So,
Yeah.
Mick, man, we appreciate you, man.
We
I thought
appreciate you coming, man. We'll see you, man.
You to go.
Come on, man.
Gotta
Come on,
put
man.
this-
So
Yeah,
let's
bring
see.
Hop. We got to get Hop.
We gotta get Earl. Yeah, let Hop slide on in here. So now think about this, really, really quick. So now we're moving forward. So when I think about the '88 run, that was great.
When you want homecoming king, too.
Yeah, of course. You got it. Well, one homecoming king had the hat on him, the crown on, everything. But what I remember, I was going away to college. I'm at Boise State in 1989. City championship game versus Persian. Detroit Cooley is down.
No, it was the city championship game with Southwestern.
No. I mean, it's the semis
Yeah.
against Persian.
Quarters.
The quarter. And so they were playing against Persian. Obviously, I'm not watching it. We don't have streaming at the time. But I get a call from my head coach, my assistant coach, the assistant coach at Boise. He said, Raphael, you missed it. You just missed one of the greatest performances I've ever seen on any level. That's when Derwin Good went and put on a clinic. When I said clinic, they said coach went 1-4 flat because now our offense was based upon all motion.
Yeah.
But this day, coach said he was going 1-4 flat. And I think Cahill and Boo Boo, they still kind of
Because K broke his ankle. K broke his ankle that game.
Yeah, he broke his ankle in the game. Yeah. But when you go back and you think about that, coach, when you think about that game in itself, the mindset, what was you thinking when we went down that game in 1989 against Persian? What was your thoughts behind that?
Well, I had a choice. I'd watched and attended practice and stuff every day. I had a choice of how am I going to do this? And being 20 down, for instance, there's Michael Talley here, and then there's Derwin Good here. And I thought that, you know something? I'm going to let Derwin do this, okay?
Okay.
You know, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to pull this. I'm going to go 1-4 flat, and I'm going to pull this because Derwin had an uncanny knack of just being able to get between people, being able to lay it up, being able to fall back. And that's another thing that Derwin had. Derwin had a fallback shot
Oh,
before
yep,
They're doing it
people
now.
in the pros
Yeah.
had it.
Yeah.
yep.
You know, and I said, if I'm going to go with somebody, I better go with Derwin. Okay, so I just boom, I went with Derwin, and and he just took over. It was unbelievable how he was able to make shot after shot
Shot after
after
shot.
shot after shot. You know, and
Wow.
he proved me right. He was able to do that way, and I would it was something that we were able to win it. I knew that winning that city championship,
Mhm.
you know, I mean that
Thank you.
particular day, I was going to win the state
You
championship.
knew you was gonna win the
I,
state
I
championship.
was going to win it.
You was gonna win it.
You know,
So, D, you want
I
to add
was
to
going
that
to win
story because you was
Yeah.
on the court.
I was on the court, and
Uh-huh.
I'll never forget this
Okay.
because what people fail to realize, me, Ralph, and George, we had this thing. You know, they my big brothers. I love them to death. But when they left, everybody, because they were the coaches, you know, they was like, y'all in trouble. Y'all not gonna be able to do it without Ralph and George.
Mhm.
So I was like, well, wait a minute now, hold on. So I'll never forget this. It was 6 minutes and 36 seconds left.
Wow.
I had fouled out.
Yep. Crying.
I fouled out. I'm on the bench crying, towel on my head. I'm talking about I'm distraught. Derwin Good, who doesn't say much,
Mm-mm.
came up to me, said, "I got you, big dog," and went out there. And I've been around a lot of players. I've played in a lot of games, junior college in California, all type of stuff. I have never witnessed a performance like that.
Yeah. Wow.
Haven't since,
Yeah.
to where it was unbelievable. But one of the biggest things, two other guys that said that story. One was Roger Ushery, that was the assistant coach.
Okay.
So I was working a camp up at Dr. Tucker's camp in Lansing, and all. I was a counselor. So after the camp that day, we all went and had dinner. He brought the story up
Okay.
from an assistant coach at Persian.
Wow.
So I heard a whole different side of that story because I had forgot that Kahil messed his ankle up.
Yeah.
And then the second person who told me the story that was so different and was so crazy was Voshan.
Mm.
Both of them played after us.
Yeah.
So they came in at that third quarter and saw that we were down 19. Him and Jalen thought, oh, Cooley out the way. We got this.
Yeah. It's easy money.
They were sophomores.
Uh-huh.
Bo told me this, and this was so crazy. He said, we went in to change. He said, we hear all the excitement in the arena, but we don't know
What's going
really
on?
going on.
Uh-huh.
He said, they came out to go get on the court. He said, he saw me running down the Callahan, the corridor to go back to the locker room. He said he thought I was going to hit my head on the ceiling because I was jumping up and down because we won. And he said that kind of spooked them.
Okay.
That they like, man, they like, how did they, you know? But that, man, I would never forget those stories.
So, and I remember, I'm telling you, I was in college, and my college assistant coach called me, and he told me, he said, "Rap, you missed it." He said Derwin Good put on a performance like he's never ever seen before, to the point of what the Persian coach said. But now we brought him to the stage. One of the guys who was probably one of the quietest guys on the team, but had so much skill.
Dang.
Man, it's smooth. We
Crossover jumper.
Ronald Hopkins.
Ronald Hopkins, baby. Hop in the building, Pearson Avenue, baby. PA in the building.
In the building, man.
Kelly Park. Reverend Hopkins.
Reverend
Yes.
Pastor Hopkins.
Hop, what do you remember about those years, man, at Cooley? And obviously, you was a younger guy coming up, and obviously me, George, you talking about Mike. You were playing the back row for a long time. Just tell everybody your experience when you was at Cooley and how being a part of those state championship teams made you feel.
Now, let me tell a quick story.
Go ahead, tell it.
How you got there?
So this is how I actually got to Cooley.
Okay.
I was at the park, Kelly Park.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
And Kelso was at the park.
What was he doing? Hooping.
He was hooping.
Hooping.
And so for those of you who don't know about Kelly Park, it's a legendary park in the city of Detroit. Anybody played at Kelly Park.
Yeah.
And so This is my ninth grade year. I'm going into the ninth grade.
Yeah.
So I know I'm slated to go to Cooley, so I'm excited. So I walk up to Coach Kelso. I introduce myself. Hey, my name is Ronald Hopkins. They call me Hop. I'm coming to Cooley next year. I'll be honored to play for you. Kelso looks at me.
What do you do?
I'm gonna show you this one. So watch this. He looks at me. He says, "Good to meet you." He touches me. He says, "You're too little to play for me."
13-year-old kid.
I've got
Just destroyed him.
6'5" guys playing with me. You'll never play with me. From that moment forward,
Uh-oh.
I knew that it was going to take work. I knew that every moment I had the opportunity, it was going to be a dogfight. And so that was really my introduction to Coach Kelso, to
You'll never
Cooley
play.
High School basketball. That in order for me to play,
He cut you before you
yeah,
could
I,
get
and
to
I had
school.
to be a dog.
Yeah.
And I had to get to a place where I realized that that was not a slight.
Mm.
That was just the reality of basketball at Cooley High.
Yeah, it was crazy. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, and of course, Hop lived across the street from the park.
Yeah.
He was in that park
Oh, I know,
every
for every
day.
day.
Every day.
You
Yeah.
came down there, you saw Hop in that park, and I saw him every time I came. He was right straight across the street from
Kelly
from
Park.
Kelly Park. He was there all the time.
Now, Hop, talk about your ascension to, because again, your junior year, this is obviously, you have to say you had real parents and a real father is as big an understatement as you'll ever get. Me and D rolled in that car many a day when it was
Yeah.
cold. He fed us everything. But you don't play as much your junior year.
Yep.
You looking at guys, if you just say, man, I go to Redford, and we talked about this. You say you go to Redford. Your junior year, you probably average 23, 24 a night.
Yeah.
To sit there at times and cheer your guys on, get better every day in practice, and to recognize your senior year, I'm about to start now. What was that like? What were you thinking? And the pressure maybe that you may have thought, because again, it's time for this three-peat. What was going through your mind?
For me, it was a little bit more than just basketball.
Mm.
It was the opportunity to be a part of a program that was literally legendary and to be a part of a coach who wasn't just coaching players.
Mhm.
He was raising young men.
There you go.
And the unity that I saw, the oneness that we were a part of,
Mm.
the mindset of it's not really about George or Ralph. It was really about the team and what we can achieve as one unit. I wanted to be a part of that. And yep, George, I had other opportunities,
No,
but just to be
absolutely.
a part of
You
that
all did. Yeah.
meant more to playing at that moment.
There you go.
And I knew that at any moment, if I just kept working, if I just kept learning, that I was going to have my opportunity. And I just stayed around. And literally, for me, practice in high school was a war. It actually, coach, it actually prepared me for college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Practice was so tough that me playing at Siena Heights was actually easy
Wow.
because of the war, the mentality,
Intensity,
the intensity, the discipline,
attention to detail.
the repetition. It was an awesome time to be a part of your tutelage, your leadership, your mentorship. I can't really put words to describe
Yeah.
how awesome that was. And we always talk about it. If we had a chance to do it all over again right now,
Oh, no.
Oh,
I believe we'd all do it all
Ain't no
over
question.
again.
Hey,
From
15055.
and the unity that we had. We spent time with each other.
Yeah.
We
12
talked about
hours
this.
a day.
Yeah, I don't know how we all were able to fit in my dad's car.
Man,
Tempo.
he had a
I
toe
admit,
pass.
I always got the front seat because remember the tempo. The
Yeah,
dad had the
Man,
tempo.
he was sitting there because he was 6'20" and 297. And then me, Reese, and Hop would be in the back. Happy too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the love, man.
And tired because
Tired.
we left it on the floor at practice.
Yeah.
What I think you alluded to, Brother Hop, is that the love and the understanding of what he was trying to do. So then your dad, your family, they understood it. But for you to come to Cooley and to say, you know what, I'm gonna stick this out. This is what Coach was talking about earlier when he first started. just trying to listen. You're gonna face adversity. It's not gonna always go your way,
Yeah.
but you want to be a part of this. Come on, let's do it. And coach, I want to go to this because there's so many people that when we go out, still to this day, they remember me, George D. They remember a lot of people from that time. What I remember the most about Cooley was the camaraderie of
Oh,
the
man.
fans
Oh,
and the people
oh,
that would come out. You couldn't even imagine the impact you would have on a culture, a school.
Yeah.
yep.
How does that make you feel? It's in my opinion, because there's a lot of principals came through there. There
Yeah.
was a lot of different people that came through Cooley, but it wasn't until that time when we started winning, and it was headed by your leadership,
Yep.
your tenacity, your will. How does that make you feel in this current state? Well, at the time, but then moving to this current state, how does it make you feel as being that leader?
Well, I actually I think that as time has gone on, I have always felt that uh, as far as the kids are concerned, they actually cared about what has happened to them and with them.
Mhm.
Okay, I I have always said this, that as far as I am concerned, is with the kids that have gone through here, they have shown me appreciation for everything that has done. There have been times in Detroit, I pull up to a gas station
Uh-huh.
and I don't even know the guy.
Yeah.
I have no idea who this guy is, okay?
Mhm.
And they come up and they say things. They say, "Look, I'll pump your gas for you."
Wow.
I'm like, wow, you
Yeah.
know what? And it actually shows the impact
Yep.
Yes.
that you
Yep.
had on kids.
Yeah. So, coach, and I'm gonna add because I'm gonna tell you, I have to tell this story on air. I told you, coach, and I'm sure shared it with George maybe 3 months ago. And this is some kids that were after you had the Bullock boys
Uh-oh.
and
Tremail, Demetrius.
and Demetrius. So, and we know
Floyd.
the history of the Bullock. Anybody from the Bullock, they know how they work.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Jokers
Tough
couldn't
son
stay
of a gun.
around here for too long. Okay.
Tough son of a gun.
Tough some gun. So I'll go into the store up on Grand River, and I come in and I notice there's a guy. He looking at me. My man, he's bigger than me. I'm,
Yeah.
Dang, who's this guy looking at me? I know nobody ain't looking for me, but I'm just, you just never know what guy's thinking.
Yeah.
And he say, Ralph. I say, yeah. He say, it's Bull, because he didn't got bigger and
It
everything.
both real.
And so we're in there, and me and him talking. He hugged me. Man, how George doing? He hugged me. So it's a lady in there. She's watching this whole interaction, and she's just looking. And he said, "Man, you talked to Kelso?" I said, "I just talked to him earlier today." He said, "Man, tell Coach, man, I'm sorry. I apologize." I'm like, "Boy, what you talking about?"
That was Demetrius.
And listen, Demetrius, he's hugging me so tight. He has tears in his eyes. He's like, "Tell him I'm sorry, man. I wish I had known what he was trying to do for me. He was trying to save my life." I said, "Boy, what?" He said, "I remember Kelso coming on the block, and I'm out there doing something I had no business doing,
Yeah.
and he get a tug on his shirt, and he said, 'You coming with me or you stand?' And he said he was looking at you like, 'Man, what are you doing over here?' And he said he wanted to apologize for everything
Wow.
that he's done, but he appreciates you because the love that you was trying to instill in him and the leadership."
Wow.
I was like, this, listen to me. This is 3 months ago. And I
Wow.
called you and I was like, Coach, you don't understand the impact that you had. And it really just came down on me at that point. I was like, wow, this is 35 years later. And you telling me nobody has ever honored this guy? If we can't do it, we can't sit on our hands. We got to move forward. So what do you think about when you hear that story? And that's just one of many, but that was one that
Yeah.
personally happened to me. And of course, we have tons of stories, the
Man,
guys up on stage. But what do you think when you hear about a guy like Bullock, who we know was
Well, I can tell you
Wayward.
now, especially with Bullock and and I'm sure that these guys up here remember Bullock.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
let me give you a story of Bullock. Okay, now how much I had tried to help him. I I would go to Bullock's house,
Have a great
get him from school every morning, and bring him to school and make him go to class. Okay, this is every morning I would pick him up. So I get him one day, and I bring him in to school. He goes and attends classes, and then as we we were, I had a bag in the truck.
in your bag.
I had a bag in the truck. Okay, so so Bullock takes that bag. Okay, he takes that bag. So yeah, so here we are
Yeah, okay.
now. This is afternoon after school, and so we're now Bullock hides the bag, and we are all together. We all get together, and we say, look now, someone has stolen the bag, the money that we had the bag in. So everybody's going to have to go look for it. Now Bullock's right here with the reference. Come on, hey, he says, come on, we said, let's go look for the bag. So I go all around. I get everybody going out looking for the bag.
looking everywhere.
Everywhere. I mean, we looking everywhere.
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking, I go out the back door, and there is this big container that's way up. It's high. It's way up there. It's way over. So and I'm sure that people are. So I said, you know something? Shit, Bullock would probably climb up that thing, I was thinking that. Just thinking that. So I climb up there.
No. See, no. Before you climbed up there, you got to remember, y'all look for it. This is you.
Yeah,
you
we
took-
looked
y'all-
everywhere. We looked everywhere now.
You're looking everywhere.
Everywhere.
And then you couldn't find it. And sure enough,
That's
what
right.
ended up happening was later on in the evening.
That's
and
right.
That's when. And
Later,
yeah, go ahead. Tell
yeah,
us.
later on in the evening is when I said, I'm actually in
The gym.
the gym, looking out the window, and I'm thinking, now wait a minute, that's too high, to try to get up in there and anybody. So I go out there, I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna just go look. So I go outside and I climb up way up in this thing, and I climb down in it. Sure enough, there's the bag. There's the bag right there. So I don't tell anybody. I don't tell anybody. I just come up, go back up in the gym, and I said, everybody, you guys are dismissed today because we've just had such a bad day. Everybody dismissed today, all right? So I get the bag, and
That evening.
I wait till it gets late, and I'm still standing in my window. I'm standing in the window,
Yeah,
looking
out.
at it. I'm standing in the window watching. So some lights go out. It's dark. And some lights
Car
go
lights.
out back. Car lights go out back. So I look and I see Bullock gets out of the car, way down there, leaves the car, comes all the way around. Sure enough, he climbs up in that, in that thing, right? So he climbs down in there, right? So he is down in there and he's looking everywhere. What the hell happened? He's wondering, he's looking everywhere, throwing garbage everywhere, looking over that bag. And I climb up on top, and I said, he looks up, he sees me, he says, I don't, what are you looking for, Bullock? Uh, I was looking for some bottles. I was looking.
Damn, boy.
Them Bullock.
Damn,
It's Bullock. I mean, and he was down in that garbage can. He didn't know that because I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
But those are the kind of things that I am glad that Will took that long to realize that I was just trying to help.
That's all
But
you
but
said.
but coach,
That means everything.
Yeah.
That means everything.
but
I
coach,
was just trying to help. You know,
you have always been that way.
Yes.
So for example, you would do things, and at the time, I don't know if we fully understood it.
Uh-huh.
You would do things in practice that if there was a tussling match and we were arguing with each other, you would say, "Okay, stop.
Get the glove.
Let's get the gloves out."
Oh yeah. Get the glove.
Get the gloves.
So thinking about that, what you were teaching us is that we don't fight each other.
Man.
Because after we got done disagreeing and having the gloves on, you said, "Okay, take the gloves off, and now let's practice all over again."
Yeah, we were fine.
And Hop, I'm glad you brought up that point because that was one of those things. We were obviously in that era where violence was definitely people think violence is bad now, but I can give people some stats from back then. Like last year, I think in Detroit, I think we was at 310 murders.
Yep.
But back in 85, 86, people don't realize we had 686 murders that year.
Yeah.
So this fighting thing was one of those things that would happen with young guys and
Yeah.
you on the same team. It happens all the time. But coach, you introduce these boxing gloves,
Yep.
and we would have to fight it out. If you got a disagreement, you got to fight it out.
That's right.
Find out.
And you're gonna fight it out right here, and that's gonna be the end of it.
Yeah.
But that was the leadership, the
Yeah.
brilliance of you. Like we're not taking this outside
No.
That's
to another level.
And we're not gonna just have our fists and kicking. It's not gonna be brutal. We're gonna swing it out.
Yep.
Put these gloves on where it's safe, and then we're gonna move forward.
Yeah.
And then you fast forward 30 plus years later. If I did that a few hundred feet over in our gym, I'd be in jail right now.
Yeah.
There ain't no question about it.
But man, I just think about so many different things. I was trying to catch that comment on the screen. What does that comment say, G?
Said Dexter Boys, 1984, as a rival, I never liked Cooley and SO. I still don't. However, I have much respect for these guys. Class act. I'm always Mackenzie high. Hey, man.
Dexter Boys.
Hey, blue and gray. We ain't mad. Y'all some bad
Listen,
boys.
because let me
Sure.
tell this a quick story. And he talking about McKenzie and that. People don't realize they thought Southwestern was our biggest rivalry. It was on paper because we played them in
Yeah.
state championship games. But McKenzie, who would you say, D? Was it McKenzie or Cody? I think it was McKenzie because the night before games, one of our former cheerleaders, her cousin, them played for McKenzie. We would go over.
Moose.
So let me back this. This is why D was crying when we lost to McKenzie. Because the night before, we was over at her house talking trash, and he was running his mouth about how much we was gonna beat him down when we lost to Big Moose now.
The Moose, yeah, and
The Big Moose now.
it was Rima. It was Rima Johnson.
It was Rima. And so, long story fast, that's why D was really crying because
Oh no, no doubt.
I
That's
think
real
I think
talk.
he owed somebody some money.
Yeah.
That
But
was
when you
real
think about
talk.
that, it was the times where it's just so many minutes. It's really too many to count. But go ahead.
No, I was listening to this one. Hold on. That 88.
Uh-huh.
Remember, he fouls out.
Yep.
They
Oh.
foul me
Yeah.
intentionally.
Yep.
And I got to go to the free throw line. So I'm coming to the bench.
Oh,
And
man.
Rav come up. You and Rav come
Me
up
and
to
Raph
me.
went to it.
Hey, man, look. Kelso, what did he do? What did he do?
Shut the fuck up. He don't know what he got to do.
Don't you tell another goddamn word to him.
He know what he got to do. So
He knows what the hell he has to do.
And I ain't gonna lie, we was kind of shocked because you fouled out so fast. I had wanted to stay, but I was off camera when y'all had brought this up about that game. You had got like 2 fouls in like the first
Back to
3 minutes.
the first 3 minutes
No,
of the
no,
game.
see, here's what happened. That in that third quarter, if you recall, what ended up happening, I got my third foul in the third quarter, in that third quarter. But what happened, we come down on offense, I get an offensive foul, boom. And then, well, I got 4 fouls now,
Right.
okay? Well, coach don't know because like George said, the assistant coaches, they just sitting there, they ain't saying nothing. They just watching the game. Well, after that offensive foul on Peterson going down, we come down. No, Southwestern end up shooting the ball. Okay? We come in the court, me and James Hunter, we push each other right in front of the bench. They gave us double foul.
And that was
my fifth foul. It happened within 30 seconds.
So this is the funny thing about it. The guy who is always talking about, man, y'all acting like some punks, some sissies. You crying, you looking sad. If you could have saw my man 23 face. Now listen to me, y'all. Hey, listen, I understand, the suits, the money falling, all the Harley, and all that. Listen to me, man. My man is crying. Soon as they, well, I mean, he went in like that. So he comes, but hold on. See, he comes to the bench, and I think the one thing that I can remember, D, this is crazy. I reflected back on the first Southwestern game. Remember that year we played them at Southwestern, and Ralph went off. Ralph had about 25, but Mike scored about 16 in a row. That's really how Mike ascended into. Mike, now listen to me now. People, you can say whatever you want to. You're lying. Now we was talented as ever. My man put on the clinic and scored 16 points in a row, and I'm thinking like, good God Almighty. But I saw where Southwestern that day. I said, if we lose this game, I know we're better than them. They go to a 2-3 zone that day again.
Yeah.
So when Dooley started crying, man, the coach cussing out us out, come on, stop talking to D and all that. We kind of knew the money in the bag, and y'all know now this superiority thing is over. But Hop and D, I want to start with Hop real quick. 89. Y'all come back in the quarters at Callahan. One of the most memorable games in the history of state tournament in this state. How did you feel when it culminated and you saying, you know what, this could be the end of an era? But how did it feel to realize, and of course we didn't realize how deep it was, to say, you know what, we've done this thing 3 years in a row. How did that feel for you?
I didn't think it was going to be an end of an era.
Yep.
Just because of we were a part of something special already.
Brotherhood.
So it couldn't end like that.
Nope.
We had to finish it out because that's how the visionaries started it.
Yeah.
So we never thought that we were going to lose. We always thought we were going to win because of the unity that we had. I mean, we were so, besides basketball, that was really a byproduct.
Oh, yeah. Look at us. Yeah.
I mean, we were so close beyond that we were winning in life together.
Yes.
Right.
And
Yes,
so
we are
with
now.
that mentality, it just made it so easy for us to play because we had played so much. We had spent so much time with each other. We knew spots. We knew where somebody was comfortable at. We knew not to be rattled. I mean, we were unified.
It was
That's
bred
it.
for it. It was
Bred
the
Southwestern
season.
State Championship, Southwestern,
yeah.
1989. Vo and Jalen are sophomores.
Yeah.
H.O., they're sophomores.
Mhm.
D going into that thing, I know you had to think like, man, this is a regular game for me. I done won this thing over and over, and these guys really can't beat me. What are you thinking that night, that morning before you get
That
there?
morning, it was kind of surreal. It was more so like, okay, we know what we got to do.
Yep.
They was the young phenoms,
Yep.
and especially with Bo having played at Kelly Park. Like
Yeah.
I
Our
grew up
neighborhood.
playing, right. Me, Hop, Bo, Big
Yep.
Reese, Demetrius Gore, Dennis Crawford. I mean, it was so
Ice.
many
So
guys.
many
Ice,
guys.
from Chassie to Radford to Cooley to McKenzie, everybody played at Kelly Park.
Yeah.
So it was a familiarity with Bo that I knew from playing against him at the park and stuff like that. And then they big man at the time was Elton Carter.
Yep.
I'd never been one to be like, okay, nobody do nothing with me, but I knew he wasn't.
Oh, you knew he was in trouble.
I knew he was cool.
You knew he was in trouble.
I knew that they were going to be in trouble. And our guard play, I had Mike, Derwin, and Hop.
Ooh.
And like, stop
Three
it. Like,
guys.
what y'all
You can't take it.
And then
Yeah.
there's
taking the
nothing
ball.
that y'all can
That-
really do.
That
If one have
three-guard-
off night,
yeah.
the other one, it's not going to happen.
that
So,
3-guard offense
it's
was
a monster.
it was tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you got
Monster.
Ken. You
But
got
more
Ken
than
in there.
anything
Yeah,
else,
Conley.
they didn't turn the ball.
Yeah.
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 You were not going to get it from either one of them.
Yeah.
And that made a tremendous difference. It is the year that we averaged less turnovers
And any
more
other
than
time.
any other time.
Yeah, 3-point
And,
guards.
and it was just it just made it we could do just about anything we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And we were not going to turn that ball over. And that's the difference I see uh, in basketball today
Yes.
is that I really I would go nuts. I mean, they turn the ball over so much. It's just unbelievable.
Senseless
And
turnovers.
it seems to be okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
that would cause me a lot of problems.
So, G, I know, G, for sure. You're glad that you was part of the state championship team as a player because you're not gonna win one as a coach. That's what they telling me. But that's somebody just said that in my ear. I don't know who said that. I'm just he was
ain't
saying
nobody said in your ear.
they said
Because
that
ain't
in my
nobody up
ear.
here. Ain't nobody
No,
up here saying.
it was in my. I got an ear, G, so you
Yeah,
can't.
yeah, it must be.
So, coach, what are some of your fondest memories at Cooley? If you could pick two of your fondest memories,
Yeah.
and let me say this before you answer. I remember as a young coach when I started out, and I called you one day. I was like, Coach, what is one of your best memories in terms of in basketball or being a coach? It was being a coach. That's what it was. And I thought, as a young guy would think, he gonna mention one of the state championships, and I never did it. You told me you were like, Raquel, you're not gonna understand until you become a coach, and you've done it for many, many years. And you said you go downtown somewhere, somebody to the
Yes.
gas station story,
Yep.
or you going to eat, and some guy comes up to you and say, Coach, and you don't remember him, but he's with his wife and his children, and he'll say,
Of
I
course.
appreciate everything that you did for me. I know you was trying to make me a man. That's that leadership,
Yep.
that forward thinking, and it was bigger than athletics, bigger than basketball. But what is your fondest memory
Mhm.
of being at Cooley High School outside of basketball?
Wow.
Well, I think that when you look at it and you see that during my time at Kool uh, the kinds of of things that I was able to get over to kids, and I felt that I was reaching them. I was
Mhm.
able to get there and reach them, and that's the reason that I came up with what I said to you, or uh, getting back to that particular story about kids coming up to me and being able to say, "Hey, I'll pump you gas." And a good thing is this, okay? Uh, One day I am at a gas station, okay,
Okay.
and I pull into the gas station, and the guy he give me my gas. He was trying. He was giving me the. There was a lot of cars in the line.
Yeah.
I go in there. I pump my gas, and no, but I didn't pump my gas. I got in line,
Mhm.
and I was able to get in line, pump my gas, and then I pulled out and pulled around. Well, I said, I forgot. I forgot to pump my gas.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you
I
just got
forgot
your
to
yeah.
I forgot to put my gas,
Mhm.
because there were so many people and
Yeah.
stuff in line that I had to pull out, and so when I pull out and come around, I can't get my gas. I couldn't. He tells me now that he says,
Can't get it.
he goes, "Yeah,
Sorry.
he's a foreigner, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to that guy.
It's gone.
Said,
Uh-huh.
well, hold it, man. I didn't pump my gas. No, I don't understand. Don't understand. So I sit there and I said, hey, look, man, this is the guy at the gate. I said, listen, you're gonna have to give me my gas,
Yeah, my money.
or I'm gonna take
X amount of things out the store.
amount of things out of your.
Yeah, I know what you're
Get my
thinking. I
gas,
already
okay?
know.
I mean, listen, I want to get my gas. So I go in. Guy comes from behind the counter, pulls a gun,
Okay.
okay, a automatic rifle.
Mhm.
I said, "No problem. Put your stuff.
Yeah,
Sit
yeah,
down.
I'm good.
Put all this stuff back." right? He won't give me my gas. I go outside.
Mhm.
Didn't realize when the guy doesn't give me my gas, I complain. I stop and I started stopping cars, right?
Mhm.
Before I knew it, there was 50 people at that gas station.
That knew you.
Yes, that knew me,
Uh-huh.
that knew who I was. And they started just coming
Yeah.
and screaming and hollering. That guy said, pump gas, come on,
Did you
pump,
ever think?
pump gas.
Did you ever think it would get to
I
that?
would have never, I would
Did
have,
you ever think that you would have? During that time, you said to us. So we talked about the summer of '86 when it started, but what we didn't talk about is the summer of '87 when you said to us, "You guys don't realize what you've done."
Right.
Now we had only won one. Listen to me, we had won one. And coach said, you guys don't realize what you've done now. I'm telling you, in 20, 30 years, you guys will remember this. You guys will be together now.
Yep.
And you guys will not realize what an impact you've had on your community and the school.
yeah,
Did you realize the impact that you
I
had?
would have never, I would have never, uh, I would have never realized how much of an impact I I could have had or would have had on a community.
Yep.
Because that was never that was never my intention.
Yeah.
It just evolved.
This is
I
all.
I would never thought that. And when we went on to do what we did, and even the fact of you realize how many even pros that came out of those eras and stuff
That's what we're talking
that you
Yeah,
that you
absolutely.
were able to defeat and stuff, and that makes a big difference.
What you say? Who was that? What they say to you? Hey man, forget the teams that y'all beat. Forget the fact that y'all won it.
Yep.
Look at the teams that didn't win it.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
but
We
God
beat
said,
'em, yeah.
they said, think about how many people we blocked from winning the state
Yeah.
tournament.
That was
And
just yeah.
it's when you think about that, the Doug Smith, you think about the
Cody
Bears,
teams.
the Cody teams, all those teams, we beat a lot of people. But the impact that was at Cooley was crazy, and the people that was there. And I definitely, I would be a clown if I didn't do this. And DJ put it in my ear. We got to make sure one of the people that was there in our era that loved Cooley basketball was there when we got there. He was tough something gun. I was scared of him when I first got to Cooley too. But one of the guys was Officer Everett. And Brother Hop, I want to move you out the
Okay.
ring. Officer Everett in here and come on in
Come
and,
on,
and,
Bob.
and say some word because
Yeah.
listen,
on,
the
man.
people, there's so many people online, y'all don't even realize everybody saying what's going on. They saying, what's up, coach? You got Griff Thomas, you have man. Isaac Wiley online, Ed Nitty, Daniel Owens, he did the chant. Uh, man, Mo Benson on the line. He was supposed to
Reese
be
on the
down there.
line.
Yeah, he
He's
down there. He's supposed to
online.
be
He's
down here.
supposed to come.
Yeah, he's supposed to come down here. But so really, really quick, Officer Everett was
Yes.
he
More
was
than
in he was more than an officer. He was an enforcer at the school. Officer Everett, how you been?
yeah.
But then tell us, what do you remember about Coach Kelso and his impact on the school?
Well, when Kelso came to the school, it wasn't organized. The athletic department was not organized.
Okay.
He brought unity to the athletic department.
Okay.
I heard about Kelso from his college days through a different person. And when he said he was coming to Cooley, I said, "Wow, I've heard this name." When he came to Cooley, I just saw the team that he put together and how he put them together. They were. I remember the movie Ben Hur, and when they were training the horses to be in the Olympics.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I guess one of the princes, whoever it was, who owned the horses, he said, "My horses is out of line." He said, "Well, you have to learn how to put them together. You got 5 good horses, but you have to learn how to unify them.
Mm.
Where
Wow.
they belong and how to use." And that, and I thought about that a lot of times. How
Kelso took players from the neighborhood.
No doubt about it.
He didn't recruit from the city of Detroit.
Mm.
He recruited from the neighborhood.
Yep.
And he brought those persons together. All of them weren't angels now.
No,
They
course.
weren't angels.
One's
No.
I was a police officer in the school, and I knew they weren't angels.
One's supposed to be.
And but I always believed that a young person needed a voice, and I always wanted to be the voice for the speechless. And I am that today. And but Kelso, I just saw him work with the team. He amazed me. How he beat Southwestern, beat the man. I was a man at the time.
Ain't no question
Ain't no
about it.
question. Ain't no question.
And I personally felt that they just many people just like Kelso because he beat the man at his own game.
Mm.
D comes by my house all the time right now. I stop by his father's house and see him,
Uh-huh.
and we go back through many days, and he has nothing to say, nothing but good about Kelso.
Yes, sir.
Who he was when he met Kelso and who he was after it was over with.
Ain't no question about it.
It's just amazing. Kelso, I've always looked up to Kelso because I coached the church team,
Mhm.
and I won 2 championships. And at first, a team beat us 90-something to 5.
Uh-huh.
And I went to Kelso. I said, "Let me get who you cut. Let me get who you cut."
Okay. Man, so and I got it because there's so many people that just stay saying, "What's up, Coach?" Officer Ever, T. Marie, she like Officer Ever. Is
Yeah.
so many people
Yeah.
on here. Kirk Kidd is watching. He said, "What up?" They was the ones that started it all. Kelso, him and Clarence McCurdy, of course. They was legendary. D. Hale saying, "What up, man?" It's just so many people, and this is one reason why when me and George started talking about this, because we just understood these were some real. This was real times, real men,
Real men.
Officer Ever. But then we can't forget about Mathis Epps.
Right.
Oh,
Oh, we can't forget about
Mosey Williams.
Mathis Epps and track coach George. What's the track coach name?
Coach Ballard.
Coach Ballard.
Coach Ballard.
Coach
But then the other
Lafayette Evans before that. Ben
no,
Burkett.
Perkett.
Ben
Burkett.
Burkett.
Ben
See,
Burkett.
You have real men.
we had real men around the school at that time. And I'm telling you, I remember y'all chasing people through the halls, coach. It was the craziest thing.
That was for
But
real.
y'all was not afraid of the guys at that time. And they knew one thing about it. If they said it, they meant it. And it was that was what was needed at the time. And let's go back, it's really needed to this day because we're losing that black male leadership that's not afraid to stand up to the young people and say, you know what? Hey man, you gonna do this or I'm gonna knock you on your butt, period, point blank. You know what I mean? And I really appreciate it. I'm sure D and George
Definitely.
and the number of people. It's so
it's-
many
it's
people
unbelievable.
now, and it's not even real.
Well, when you look
We
at
can't
it,
even get to them all.
when you look at it, right?
Ben Golden, he on here. They watch.
We are.
Man.
We're the podcast for the people of the people.
Yes.
And we talk about it because of State Champions Podcast and because of who we are and what we did. Everybody thinks that this thing was based around sports.
Mm-mm.
The foundation and the center of this conversation, even today, Coach, the microcosm of our podcast is this is about the people. This is about saving lives. So when you look at it, you guys, what you were able to do, Officer Everett, you know, y'all provided a safe haven for us. Y'all provided structure, discipline, diligence. So when you look at our communities now, it is not an accident that we are in a state of upheaval right now because we don't have as much black, strong male representation and discipline within our own community. So, you know, to look at these gentlemen now, you think about this. We're talking about something that occurred 30 plus years ago. And when, you know, Reverend Hopkins mentioned a byproduct. Winning is a byproduct. And I tell people all the time, I almost feel disrespected when people ask me, well, gee, how your team gonna be? I don't know how the hell you think they're gonna be. They're gonna be good because the foundation of it is rooted in what these gentlemen taught us.
Absolutely.
It's the culture, championship culture, and for us to be able to be here, all of us north of 50,
Yes.
gentlemen. It is Christmas in 2 days.
Yep.
We salute you. Earl's birthday month. We salute you and we thank you. We love you. We appreciate all that you've done
Yes, sir.
because we didn't want it to be a situation where we're looking at an obituary and we're talking about what this man used to do and what he did. We can tell you here right now, without y'all, there would be no us.
That's
Absolutely.
the honest to God truth.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you think about it, I think going back to Jay Alexander and talking to him, and also obviously we have school board president here,
Ain't
Angela
no question.
Peterson Mayberry,
You know her.
and she made a great point. She said we are losing too many of our legends.
Wow.
And they must get their flowers while they still here.
Yes, sir.
And they aren't being replaced.
They not, you ain't gonna better replace. Let's clear that up. But the point is, they got to get their flowers while they're still alive.
No doubt about
And I think that's a great thing. And I think moving forward, so Coach, you starting it off the city championship, and we're going to put some things in place in the next few years for other guys, Perry Watson. It's too many to name, but we're going to create that committee. But to George's point, y'all guys, it wouldn't be no us if it wasn't for y'all. Because, and I had to say that about you because my dad, I promise, I say this to this day, when he endorsed you, I said he must really think Kelso is something.
Yeah, because he don't.
It was crazy than the summer gun. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
He ain't endorsed nobody.
I was like, for him to
Original
endorse
Pete
somebody outside the household, I said, no, he got to be legit. Go ahead.
Rap, I do have to say this
Uh-huh.
before we go as we close and almost. You know, Coach, there was a couple things that, me and Rap could laugh about it now, but
Mhm.
one day, Ralph and I walk in the gym. I don't know if we was on skateboards, ice skates, or whatever, but something hit Coach. And Coach looked at us, and I got a leather coat on with a fur on the collar or something. And Ralph, y'all got to understand, Ralph had a full length black leather coat.
with a Louis Vuitton briefcase.
Hey, no, D, you a little bit off.
It's a gym bag.
Listen,
Yeah, the gym
Ralph
bag.
has the black. He coming in like Shaft now. Ralph has on a black leather full length. Now we're doing the games, and see what people don't understand is another something that people don't understand. Coach Kelso did not make us wear anything. Like on game day, we just come to school. So Ralph and I come in '88.
Yep.
Hey man, we wearing shirts and ties, and we wearing sweaters,
We
nice
dressing up.
pants. We dressing up on game day. This is me and Ralph. Now. This is true. So obviously, everybody Hop go to church, so he got the stuff already, baby. He ready to roll. He couldn't wait to put his on. But we got somebody that's on the stage with us tonight
Who
that's
don't
gonna
dress up
provide
to
some
this day.
resistance.
Who ain't gonna dress up to this day.
Who said, hey, I ain't wearing no damn t-shirt. What y'all always, and it's always, what y'all always gonna be trying to do something. So, needless to say, big fella, he adjusted, got his stuff on. But Ralph and I walking in one day, and he said, oh, shit. King George and King Jesus. So for the rest of our days at Cooley High School, people don't understand is, he said, you two son of a gun stick, you're the coolest damn thing that ever walked the planet. And he called us that, but one day we were at a game. It was halftime. And again, he didn't have an assistant coach. And so when I say without him doing what he did and being who he was, there is no us. So he tells us one day, we're in a game now. At halftime, he says, listen, guys, I need Ralph, Mike, and George to talk.
Oh yeah.
And I'm thinking,
That was the Cody.
it was a Cody game.
It's the Cody.
I'm sitting
Yeah.
there. First of all, nephew, I'm sitting there thinking, like, what you want to say, dude? Come on, hustle. Tell us exactly what you see out there.
Yep.
And then we told him, we win the game. After that, the next day, he said, now listen now, you three a-holes are going to be some hell of a coaches one day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm 16 years old, and I'm telling you, I ain't too fond of him at times. There's no way in hell I'm going to do what?
Be a coach.
I ain't coaching no basketball, dog. Now I'm telling you now, Mr. BK, now you can take my stuff now. I ain't coaching no basketball, dog. I'm done. Well, 30 plus years later, as I look at it now, and every time they say anything about me from an X and O perspective or leadership or coaching perspective or mentorship perspective, and they talk about Ralph, they talk about Mike to this day, there's one name that's synonymous with every conversation. It's him. So I don't I don't think I don't think this is an accident. I don't think this is, some far-fetched thing when you look at it. All three of our sons, and Mike and his son, Mike is in California now. Trey is in California training with the pros and doing some other things out there. But when you look at all three of our children, having the opportunity to play college basketball and live out a dream themselves. So I have a quote on my desk in my office at home. It says, "Great men raise great men who raise great men."
Oh,
You a
man.
bad dude, man. You a
Oh,
bad
man.
dude.
Full circle.
You cold-worded boy. You need to be a preacher. I thought I was nice.
Don't say that no more.
No, you need to be a preacher.
That's hot.
I
That's hot.
see how you be getting them ladies. Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
I
man.
ain't mean to say.
Oh,
That's right.
man, brother.
I'm just
Q.
Hey, Q, I had to get you, Q. Hey, Coach, because we got to get out of here. It's
Yeah.
getting late, man. Coach, you give us the final words before we
man.
get out of here, man. Because what do you want to say to the people?
Yeah.
Anything you want to say and about the times at Cooley, or anything you just want to say, period.
Well, I really want to say that there wasn't any time that I didn't enjoy being everything that happened that was that with that school. I really enjoyed, and as I said before, now with all of the things that take place, I appreciate the fact that if I once I move on and I'm gone from here, I will always remember how you remembered me.
Wow.
Man,
Wow.
I think I'm gonna tell y'all this. We might as well do the chant, dog. Y'all ready?
Yeah, yeah.
Y'all ready to do the
Come on, man.
COO
COOLEY. Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid.
What?
COO
Yeah.
LEY.
You see it.
Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid.
They ain't gonna let base on 4th Street no more.
Yeah. Hey man, we appreciate y'all tuning in to State Champions Podcast, but
Yes,
make
sir.
sure
Man, we love y'all.
everybody, make sure y'all listen. City Championship game,
Yeah.
February 19th. I know my man, y'all know I give my man George all kind of flack, but I know he's gonna be in that City Championship game. I think all of our Cooley people
That's gonna be
should show up and listen,
man.
that red and black.
Oh,
And
man.
when George, they get it going, I don't
Yeah.
do the King Crusader chant.
Ain't
We
one.
gonna do COOLEY
Ain't one.
chant. All right, we gonna do it every
Oh, I'm
time
sorry,
we gonna
Nick.
come down, but we really
We
gonna
love,
show up.
no, I love King.
We gonna show up for Coach and show out
Yeah.
and show him that love and give him them flowers while he can still smell them.
Yeah.
Man, we appreciate.
Kudos. Hey, shout out to our production team, man.
Of
Kid
course.
Yes,
Easy
sir.
Productions. Quincy, man. Hey, shout out to Detroit Public Schools Community
Yes.
District, to our school board president, Nikolai Vitti, our principal, Damian World Perry, man. Barry
Yeah.
Bone Cannon for allowing this thing to happen.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Cooley High, there'll be nothing like it. That red and black, them colors, the chant, and everything that we've done, man, it's for you, the people. Everything that we do at State Champions Podcast. It's for the people. It's other people. We love y'all. We'll see y'all again.
Drop that intro, Q. We out of here.
The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here.
Make sure you go to YouTube, follow, like, subscribe. Make sure you follow us on TikTok and IG, and of course Facebook. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace. We out.
The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here.